There's a few that have been like really like the best movie of the years that I've never seen because they look so boring. But have you ever seen any of them? Like Parasite, I think was a big one. That one I heard was really good though.
Okay, so I liked Parasite, but I will say this: I didn't think it was the best movie I saw that year. You know what I mean? Like I didn't. It was good and it was different, but don't go in expecting it to be the best movie ever seen, like some people say. You think? But it's good though.
You think it was just an Asian cock sucking festival, and that's why they fucking made it?
No.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Corey.
Every week we discuss and review a new book, movie, album, TV show, or honestly any piece of art or culture that ourselves and you guys choose. This is Mind Control. So there was these people who were being kidnapped and mind controlled.
Exactly, dude. And I can totally see how that happened. Because, like, imagine if you were just given acid or just drugs like that are so disorienting for hours and hours on end and never being able to come down and not feeling safe and having somebody tell you things and accuse you of things, you know? Yeah.
Mind control. That's how we do it, baby. GG's. Mind control. On this episode of Mind Control, we're going to be checking out our top 3 albums of the year, our top 3 movies of the year, our top 3 books that we read this year, and our top 3 TV shows of the year. This has been a great year for the podcast. As you can see from the thumbnail growth, we've grown as a podcast. We've grown as, even friends, as men. I want to thank you guys. If you guys do watch and you guys do listen, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. This was a very fun podcast. It's obviously very different, as you can tell by how I'm talking in the pictures you see. But yeah, it was a great one. Have a great new year. Have a great holiday. And we will see you guys in 2022. Peace out.
It's very dark where you're at.
You can't see. I know. Hold on.
No, I can see you. It's cool. I can see you.
It's just my. It's just too. It was a little too early when I started. I was fucking sleepy.
No, you on that Playboy Carter? You a vamp, huh?
And I'm gay.
Why did you say that?
Ain't he gay? I thought he was gay.
Is he?
I thought somebody recently started talking about him on a podcast and said, I heard he's gay now, and something like that.
So I know the way he dresses though is very like punk, like kind of like what Kid Cudi does, like Kurt Cobain shit back in the day. So I know he dresses like that, but I don't know. When I was listening to his music, I don't sound like he gay because I think he talks about bitches and shit.
All the gay dudes want to fuck a bitch though. That's what I've always thought. Like, they're fucking liars. I don't believe it. How can you not? It'll make no sense.
Bro, I listened to that Red album though. The whole lot of
you heard the whole thing.
It's fucking long, but most of it, yeah, I heard most of it. And this last week we went to the mall or some shit. So we listened to a good amount of it. Me and Paul and Frankie, dude. That shit was fucking. Every song was fucking hard, bro. Yeah. Like, and then because I was asking Anthony, because he was telling me about it too, and I was like, why don't? Because I knew people didn't like that album, like Playboy Carti fans when it first came out. A lot of them like hardcore. Like I remember Red, the dude that we'd rap with, he didn't like it. Like a lot of people talk shit about it when it first came out, and then I was asking why, and he was saying because like he doesn't really say much, and if you listen to it, like he really doesn't. No. It's like a lot of noises, but dude, honestly, I think that's what kind of made me like it. I was like, this is kind of dope. Like it's like just energy. It's like there's no like anything like particularly like, oh, that's a dope bar. It's just like, fuck, this whole song. It just the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, I could just imagine live this shit would be nuts. Like,
yeah, man,
it'd be crazy as fuck. You know?
Yeah, I saw his performance at Rolling Loud, like the video, because they've been releasing their performances, all the performances from this year, even Kanye's.
That's
Kanye came on with Future, I guess, like did a surprise performance.
Yeah, then he freestyled. Yeah, I saw that.
And then and they upload like all the performances in HD and shit.
Ooh,
so it's
maybe I'll watch them tonight.
But the Playboy Carti one was fucking wild, dude. He looks like he like did at least the first 2 or 3 songs on the album, like in order, and like from the beginning. The first song, like the take my shirt off, all the hoes stop.
Oh, dude, that's my favorite. Take your shirt off, all the hoes stop.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's fucking wild, dude. I knew you'd love it. I like the first time I heard it, I'm like, this is rage music. This Corey would fucking love this shit. Like,
dude, I do. And I remember when we saw Baby Keem, the DJ actually played a song from Red, and I didn't know it before Keem came on. I didn't know what it was, but like Anthony, Nico, and Paul were all like all hyped, and I was like, who is this? And they're like Playboy Cardi, and I was like, oh, this shit is pretty dope. Like, and that was just, even with the DJ playing it, like people were getting crazy. So I was like, I couldn't imagine like if he was actually out here doing his show for his fans, like it'd probably be crazy.
That's the first thing I've ever heard about Playboy Cardi was like memes of his fans being like weirdos. That's like all I've always seen that. That's it.
That's what Paul told me, because I was like, oh, I like Cardi now. He's like, oh, you a vampire boy? I was like, what is that? He's like, a vamp. He's like, that's what the fans are called. And I was like, no way, they're called vamps. But then they are. I was like, oh, that's dope. Yeah. I'm gonna start wearing fangs. I should have wore some today.
I seen a few dudes talking about him on a podcast, and that at his shows, like a lot of the time, he don't even talk. He just kind of like lets his songs play, and he just like doesn't even have a microphone a lot of the time. Like he just lets them play.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
And he just rages with the crowd. It sounds lit. Like he just goes and parties with the crowd and just like moshes and just like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen the cover of that Die Lit album, and it looks like it's him like doing a flip into the crowd. The cover of it. Yeah, it's the album before this. I haven't really listened to it, but he's like, it's like a black and white photo of him like doing a flip off the stage into the crowd. It looks crazy. I'm like, oh shit.
I don't think I could do that shit no more, bro. Even like when you sent me the video of you at Baby Keem, I was just like, fuck, like that looks. It looks scary. Like I don't know if I could do it anymore.
Honestly, bro, it wasn't. Like I felt I was like nervous going to because of that, and because it'd been so long. But dude, being in it, it just made me realize, like, fuck, like most of the time, everybody's pretty cool. Like even when it's getting crazy, like most people are not actually trying to fucking ruin your time and fight,
Yeah.
So it was cool being in there again and being that close to people and like feeling like, oh shit, this is nuts.
Yeah.
But I never felt unsafe though, I think
it's more just like as I feel older and I'm nervous because I haven't raged in a while. So that's all.
Bro, me and Frankie were probably 2 of the oldest people at that Baby Keem concert. I was like, damn, like that was crazy. We were talking to people like by us, and we were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be 30, and they were all young, and I was like, yeah, the kids fit in, but
yeah, it's funny. I used to talk about like there's people who go to festivals and raves who are like in their 30s. So I'm like, oh, that's me now.
That's me, bro. That's me.
I'm excited to do this, man. I'm excited to do this. I actually think that my list is going to be different than yours.
That's cool.
Which which is good. When I started it, I was like, I don't know if it's going to be too similar or whatever, but I think that we'll have some good lists here. For people who are just listening or watching, this is obviously our best of episode. You can tell from the title. We are going to list off our top 3 albums, movies, TV shows, and books for the year. The books that we're going to list don't have to be released in 2021. We just kind of went with whatever books we read this year, but the other ones will be released in 2021 or like late December 2020. So if you guys are listening, there's probably like 3 or 4 of you guys who actually listen to the podcast and check it out. I love you guys. Comment in the video. Let us know what your top 3s are. That'd be super interesting to check out too. Or Instagram and all that shit. We'll mention it in the next one. Like anybody who has any questions for us or wants to be included in the podcast, all you have to do is comment on any YouTube video or any post, email us or DM us, and we will literally talk. We will respond to your question in the next episode. So if you want to be a part of it, get involved. But yeah. So what do you want to start with, Big Dog?
Let's go with movies, bro. That was kind of like that was one of the hardest for me categories, just because I when I was going into it, I realized a lot of the movies that I had seen this year that I really liked weren't from this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually see as many from this year as I thought.
I don't think there's that many released either. I don't think, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think because of COVID. I mean, like there were like little things, but like or not little things. There were big things, but yeah, there wasn't a lot.
Though. Yeah. It wasn't like other years.
I went through the IMDb list though, and there was a big list of movies that came out, but most of them I'd never heard of.
They all seem weak, bro. Like little House on the Prairie type shit. Like I don't want to watch all that. Like too much drama and talking and just like too much. Sometimes some movies, those kind of a lot of those top movies, like a lot of the lists I saw, I'm like, what the fuck? Like these look boring, but probably not. I don't fucking know. Do you ever watch any of those like top movies like that win Grammys or not Grammys, but like Oscars? Like what is like a like? There's a few that have been like really like the best movie of the years that I've never seen because they look so boring. But have you ever seen any of them? Like like Parasite, I think was a big one. That one I heard was really good though.
Okay, so I liked Parasite, but I will say this: I didn't think it was the best movie I saw that year. You know what I mean? Like I didn't. It was good and it was different, which was cool, which I would really like, and like there was a good twist. And the movie was a good movie. And like all the actors, like I really liked the characters, but it wasn't my favorite movie of the year. Like everybody made it seem like it was the most important movie of the year. And I was like, I don't know about that. But it was good. And it definitely, I feel like in America, like things like with Alison Board, like things that are and we've talked about it, that are like from other countries are typically just feel better because they feel fresh, They're not like the shit you see out here. So it is good. It's worth checking out. But don't go in expecting it to be the best movie ever seen, like some people say. You think? But it's good though.
You think it was just an Asian cock sucking festival, and that's why they fucking made it?
No, no, I don't. I think it was more because people were trying to make it about social socioeconomic factors and about like the difference between the rich and the poor, which I feel like was cool in the movie. But I also feel like. I mean, I don't want to get too into it because it's not on anywhere list and you haven't seen it, but a big theme in that movie is kind of how the rich are almost parasite off the backs of the poor, because without your house, like if you're really rich, without your housekeepers and the people taking care of your kids, which I actually see with the family I'm working with, without all that stuff, like you couldn't live the life you're living and do all this business because you need these people to take care of you, but then you treat them like shit because you're rich. But I feel like when you watch Parasite, that's not really what's happening. I feel like the rich people were almost just as good as the poor people in that movie. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like people were trying to make it like poor against the rich. But if you actually watch the movie, I felt like I liked the rich people. I was like, if anything, I felt like the poor people were kind of almost being parasites on them, But I feel like that's also part of the movie. Like it's almost like they're both feeding off of each other, It's like the poor people need these rich people so they can live these lives and like make this money. But then these rich people need these poor people because they wouldn't be able to live a normal life. They couldn't take care of their kids and have this business. I don't know. It's an interesting movie. You should see it. But
I'll check it out. I will. It kind of like you saying like how people try to make assign this morality, like all this deeper context to the movie that you don't think was there. Did you see Halloween Kills this year?
The newest one?
Yeah.
Bro, yes. Yeah, we watched it. Yeah.
What did you think about it? That's interesting.
So I thought it was ridiculous, but it was, for what it was, I had a good time watching it. You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure. I would say that exactly. And it was definitely ridiculous. And like towards the end, I was like, what the fuck? They're like, death dies tonight. Death dies tonight, or whatever the fuck.
And they beat his ass and he fucking kills them all. Dude,
yeah, like what the fuck? So,
and they only stabbed him like once. I was like, bro, why wouldn't you guys finish this fool? I'd cut his head off.
I think maybe I have a different perspective of the end of it. And I almost put it on my list because because I don't think it was, like you said, it was ridiculous, stupid, but I did have a really good time watching it. And I think I enjoyed it more because when we were in New York and we were like, we only had 1 hour of sleep. I don't know if I told you about this, but I put it on my story. But
yeah, you told me. Yeah, you told me.
We were tired as fuck. We had 1 hour of sleep. I felt like I wanted to throw up, bro. It was like I was in a bad trip entering New York. Like we were in the back of this dude's cab driving through the Bronx and shit. And it was like I was like sad and like freaking out because I only slept an hour, and because we couldn't check into our room, I was like, what the fuck are we gonna do? We're in New York for 6 hours. We have nothing to do. And we were so sleepy. I didn't know what to do. Went to the movie theater. We watched Halloween Kills for the second time, and I was sitting there watching it, and honestly, it was like one of the best moments of the whole weekend because we had this like shelter home away from home where we could fucking sleep, and it felt amazing. But basically watching the movie that second time, it always gave me good vibes. But the main part I wanted to talk about was that I noticed the second time watching it was that it did seem like, I don't think that he actually came back to life and killed everybody. I think it was kind of like a metaphorical thing, because it was like every time that he's killed anybody towards the end, it was like there was this black backdrop, and it was like, it wasn't like they were at the scene of the crime where he was. And there was actually, while he was killing everybody, there was footage of right where he supposedly died. They were like going back and forth where people were just being calm, like sitting there getting treated by the police as he's killing people. So I think what they were trying to do was like show that this mob mentality kind of thing was the true essence of the evil of Michael or whatever, and like how they all ganged up and like all they got mind fucked into believing all this, and it was kind of that. In my opinion, I think that they were trying to have this deeper thing said about the world or stuff like that, or like the division we have in the country and how that's the true evil, and like evil will always live, and that's why he came back to life and killed everybody. I think they were trying to say that. Did you notice anything like that at all? And I wonder if I should look that out.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't notice that. When we watched it, I was just like, "How's this fool getting back up and killing everybody?" And then ends up at the chick's house.
No, it was all like a metaphor, dude. That's the thing, is like, that's why she's like just standing there at the end, and then like the way that, if you look at the way that he kills everybody, like the actual shots of it, it's like they're in just like a black void. They're not at where they were fighting and stuff. Every time he kills somebody, it's just a black void. I paid attention on the second time because I kind of noticed it the first time. But yeah, that was almost on my list, not because I thought it was so deep and so intricate and so awesome, but I really enjoyed watching it. And the second time I watched it, it was such good vibes because I was able to relax and chill. And I cannot wait to watch it a third time and sleep too. I'll probably sleep to that movie forever, dude. Good vibes.
Nice. I've only seen it the once.
So, do you think it'd be good to do this? Oh, go ahead. You're good.
Are you leaving?
Yeah.
Where are you going? Oh, okay. All right. I'll see you when you're back. My bad.
No, you're good. Do you think that it'd probably be good to do like our honorable mentions before we do our lists, maybe? Because that was kind of one of my honorable mentions. Or do we do that after?
I'd say after, just so then we'll get, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. That was okay. That was one of yours though. But bro, yeah, it was good. I just felt like though, I don't know, maybe it was just because we just watched it here. Like it was like more of a good time than maybe I wasn't looking for anything either, so like I didn't really notice that. I will see what you're saying.
I will say that I don't think it was done well. I don't think that it should have been done. I don't think it was good that it was done. I just noticed that seemed like that what they were trying to do a little bit. But yeah. So it was definitely the better part of it was just anecdotal for me, like just how I enjoyed the movie. But go ahead, brother. Your list first.
No. All right, so
wait. So how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna list all three?
Yeah. I figured I'll list all three, and then you can list all three. Because if we do one by one, this shit gonna be like 9 hours.
I think if we do, let's do. You say your third. Do like a brief thing, and then.
Oh, do you have yours in order of like first, second, third, or just three tops?
No, I have mine.
I don't think I have. Okay, so I don't think I.
Oh, you didn't do 3, 2, 1?
No, I did it more like just three because I was already having a hard time picking, you know?
Dude, I sat here for like 2 hours just like going over things, looking things up and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's hard. It was hard.
So I wanted to bring this up before I say my list, that there is actually... There's a weird noise.
That was scary, bro. Oh my god! Is there a little girl dying on the other side of your camera? Jesus Christ!
There's a movie I want to. It's not on my list, but it comes out tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure, just from reading early reviews, that would probably end up being on my list because it's one of my favorite stories. They're doing I don't know if you've seen it. They're doing The Tragedy of Macbeth. With Denzel Washington as Macbeth, and it comes out tomorrow. It's all in black and white, and I don't know if you know the story of Macbeth by Shakespeare. Yeah, it's a story where basically Macbeth is a dope ass badass fighter he's all for his king. He goes, he fights, he wins this war for his king. But then on the way back from war, he runs into these three, like almost like the Sisters of Fates, like three witches. And they tell him this prophecy that he's going to be king, and then once he finds out that, it embeds in his mind, and he starts to kind of, because he's friends with the king, but then he starts to slowly think like, I'm going to become king. So he tells his wife, and Lady Macbeth is super crazy, and she's kind of like, oh, you're going to become king? Well, okay, let's do this now. So then they plot to kill the king. And then so the story is he kills the king, and then he because of that, because the king was kind of his friend, he does this to become king. So he becomes king, gets all these riches, gets everything he wants, but slowly it takes its toll, and then he stops sleeping. And then there's a famous line, I put in a song actually, where he says, I have scorpions in my mind, and he's talking about how he's going crazy. And it ends up being the fall of Macbeth. So it's like, because he learns about the future, the prophecy ends up being his downfall as well, because instead he should have just been content with his spot, but instead he hears that he can be king. So then he goes the extra step to plot it out, kill the king who was his friend, and then he goes crazy from it. It's a lot of movies are like based off of that like archetype.
Interesting.
And yeah, they're doing a new version though, and they say it's amazing. And Denzel Washington plays Macbeth, which is really cool. The trailer looks dope. You should watch it. It's A24. It's a black and white. But I'm pretty sure that might be on my list. But I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't put it on there. But I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, hell yeah. So quickly, so you're saying that the kind of like the point of the story is like the morality, or like the concept of like of not just being content with the position you're in and wanting to be bigger or thinking that you're bigger. Or is that a big point, kind of? Yeah,
so I think a big point of it is that, that you should try to be content. That if you're like, because what eventually drives him crazy is the fact that he thinks he can be better. So he goes the step to actually scheme and plot. But if you actually read the book too, a good amount of it is also his wife. Like I feel like a good amount is also about like how the woman behind you has a lot of power too, you know?
Oh yeah, I noticed
he wasn't gonna go kill the king, even though he thought like, oh, I can be it. His wife is really the one that's like, no, like we want the power, like we should go get it now. It's good.
It sounds tight,
dude. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. I'm really excited. But okay, let me get into my thing.
I think we do mention our honorable mentions, and we just kind of like, and then we can do our list. I think because we're already kind of doing that, and then we don't have to go into too much detail about anything. Like the Halloween Kills is the most. Most I'll go into anything. So if you have anything on that didn't make your list, I think we mentioned we can talk about them now, and then I'll mention mine before I do my list. So you're good.
All right, cool. I got two. Well, another one I haven't seen, but I feel like it might have ended up on both of our lists, but we haven't been able to see it. But I looked it up, and it's on the list of movies that came out this year. Is Vortex by Gaspar Noé.
Okay.
I feel like from reading the concept and just the poster, I feel like it has a lot of potential to be amazing. And
honestly, one quick thing. I think that if there was like one really, really good movie that came out, it would have jumped to the top of my list easily, because there was really not that many that came out this year that I thought were that great. So go ahead.
That's how I feel too. Yeah. And in Vortex though, like I feel like neither of us we didn't have a chance to even see it, you know? But anyways, so honorable mention that I actually did see. This was almost on the list. I don't know why I took it off. I think because the movie overall is a little slow upon second watch, but as Judas and the Black Messiah, did you watch that?
No.
So that one's all about the killing of Fred Hampton from the Black Panthers. And I think we talked about it because I don't know if you remember in the very first Mind Control episode we did on the book, Mind Control on Chaos. They talk about that in one of the chapters about how the FBI gave Fred Hampton. They infiltrated, they got his bodyguard, they arrested him, they had his bodyguard give him barbiturates in his drink, so he was passed out asleep. Then they raided the apartment, and even though he was asleep, they shot him like 9 times while he was asleep. And they said, you know, they went in there and they pretty much killed everybody in the apartment, but Fred Hampton was literally passed out, and they shot him like a bunch of times and killed him, literally murdered this guy. And that's what the movie's about. Yeah, and that's what the movie's about, which is cool because I was like, it's cool that they're actually like putting this out in the mainstream. People know it happened now, but it's a good movie. And the dude from Get Out, I forget his name, Daniel Kaluuya or whatever.
The actor?
He plays Fred Hampton. Yeah.
Oh,
he plays Fred Hampton. And dude, he plays Fred Hampton, and that's So the movie overall is the story's really good, but it's a little long. The more I've seen it a couple of times now, but him alone, I feel like is what puts it on the list because he does like if you watch interviews with Fred Hampton and listen to him, that fool fucking did him like. It was like seeing a different actor, like, you know, just I like when actors are that good where it's like you already know what to expect from them, but then you see them in a role and it's like it's hard to see them out of that role now. And that's how I feel like he does Fred Hampton. There's parts where he gives speeches to like the Black Panthers and it reminded me of like not the same, but like in Wolf of Wall Street, how he gives speeches and there's like all this energy. Yeah. That's like how it was with that, except obviously it's more important because they're talking about actual issues. So he gives these speeches. And in the movie, though, I remember I was like, yeah, fuck that. Let's kill cops. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good movie. It's definitely worth watching.
Is that the same dude from the Black Mirror episode, the first one? Is he the same?
Yeah. The one where they're riding the bikes. Yeah. That's him.
To this day, that monologue at the end he does is fucking like with the knife to his throat. Like that shit is fucking.
That's one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror, dude. Yeah, it's a great episode. For sure. Dude, the other dude that's in it too is the one from Atlanta, the one that's funny. Yeah. He reminds me of Daniel. I don't know why. Stanfield, dude, in Atlanta, he reminds me so much of Daniel, dude. Just the way, just the things he says and the way he is. Yeah. But yeah, dude, that's definitely worth checking. I think that was the only one that really made my honorable mentions. So my list.
Let me close my blinds real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh shit! I knew that was gonna happen. I forget. Okay, go ahead.
No, for my top 3 in no particular order is The Green Knight. I don't know if you've seen The Green Knight. A24 film. It's about that. It's like
you told me
it's a legend I never heard. Yeah. So it's about like King Arthur, but it's about King Arthur's nephew. And King Arthur's nephew, the story is on Christmas Day, this Green Knight, he looks like I don't know what the fuck he is. He looks like he's made out of wood or he looks like a monster kind of. He shows up at the round table and he challenges them all to a challenge on Christmas Day. And the challenge is whoever takes my challenge, if you strike me, we're going to fight. And if you strike me just once, all you got to do is hit me once, you win. And you'll get everything you ever wanted. You'll get riches, you'll get fame, you'll get fortune. But in 1 year's time, wherever you strike me, I come back, or you have to come find me in 1 year on Christmas Day again. And I strike you in the same place. So you cut me on the cheek, then in a year, I cut you on the cheek. But then the movie is interesting because this is all background. If you watch the trailer, you'll see this happen. Mm-hmm. But the movie's interesting because the knight knows this, and for some reason, and I still haven't figured it out. I have to watch it again. For some reason, he cuts off the dude's head. So then the guy picks up his head and he says 1 year's hence. Because now it's like, okay, in 1 year, now you have to come find me. You're going to be a knight. You're going to get rich. But because you cut my head off in 1 year, you have to come find me and I get to cut your head off. And then, dude, the movie's actually about, it's like, that happens in the very beginning. And then the movie's about the year. And he's kind of a piece of shit. Like, he gets all this fame and fortune, and he's not a very honorable knight. He's kind of a piece of shit. But then in 1 year's time, that's kind of what the movie's about. It's a lot about honor. It's like, because, I mean, technically, this guy could probably try to run away and never go find the knight. But the people in his kingdom wouldn't respect him for that. So it's like the movie, a good amount of it's about, like, the difference between honor and fame. Like, he has fame. But to be honorable, to be truly honorable, he has to go find this guy and allow him to cut his head off. And if he doesn't, there's really no honor. It's just fame. And like, there's a difference between glory and honor, you know? And the movie's interesting.
He cuts a guy's head off, but he still has to, how does that work?
So the thing is like a monster. So that's why it looks like a bee. It looks like a tree, like knight or something. And that's what he says. But that's why the movie's interesting. Cause he tells him in the beginning, wherever you cut me, I get to cut you back. And literally the guy doesn't really fight. And for some reason, the knight decides I'm going to cut his head off, and he cuts his head off. And I don't know if he thinks that he's going to die when he cuts his head off. Yeah. But then he picks up his head and he's like 1 year hence. He laughs. And then the movie kind of starts from there. And it's a good movie, dude.
I've heard a lot of good things.
It's weird. It's weird. I really like I just really like the idea though, of that you can have glory and fame, but doesn't mean that you earned it or that you deserve it if you're not putting in the work. Like, in a way, that's kind of what I saw. Because towards the end, they kind of get into that. Like, because it kind of goes into like little fantasies as if he did avoid it. There's a lot of shit. You should watch it. It's good. There's a lot of little things in it too. It's very A24, very like weird. This is different. It's just different.
All right. For sure.
So that's one of them. It's a good one. This one I just saw the other day. The Last Duel. Have you heard of it?
No. Actually,
Frankie
I
put it
feel
on
like I've heard the title.
Frankie put it on her story like 2 days ago, so we just watched it. So it came out. It actually came out a couple months ago. Kind of went under the radar. It's with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Adam Driver. I don't know if you know Adam Driver.
I know the name.
He's in a lot of shit. Yeah, he's in Star Wars, the new Star Wars. He's the bad guy. He's been in a.
He looks like me. He looks like an ugly version of me.
People think he's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, but what does that say about me? See.
You're right. But dude, so that movie, I didn't know what the fuck it was about. I knew it was between Adam Driver and Matt Damon, like they fight, and so the movie's actually a true story. It's about the actual last trial by combat that they had. So like in Game of Thrones, where it's like you can do trial by combat.
Yeah.
So this was actually the last time that it actually happened. That's what this movie's about. And it happens between Matt Damon and Adam Driver. Their name is Legree and Carouge. But dude, so the movie though, I didn't know it was about this. So it's cool. It's broken up into 3 parts though, from 3 different perspectives. I've never seen a movie that takes place in medieval times though that does the story this way. So you see the story first from Matt Damon's perspective, then you see it from Adam Driver's perspective, then you see it from the woman's perspective. So Matt Damon is this knight. He's kind of a loser, and but he's a really good fighter. Like he's a good fighter, but he's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like if you see his personality, you'll just know people like that. It's like the type that are like, yeah, they're good at things, but they're almost kind of like, you don't want to be associated with them because they're almost kind of an embarrassment too sometimes, Like they'll do like, instead of having like if you and me were in a social situation and we're kind of arguing, instead of having composure, I would get up and make a big scene in front of everybody. And it's kind of like, whoa, dude, like, calm down. You're being a little embarrassing. Like, yeah, who cares about your honor, And it's about his wife. And so he gets this wife, and then Adam Driver is like this. They're kind of friends, him and Matt Damon. He was actually I think he was the godfather to Matt Damon's son too in real life. But then something happens. So his wife gets raped, or at least that's what it's hard to say because that's why it has 3 different perspectives. Matt Damon finds out she's raped. From Adam Driver's perspective, you could tell that he thinks it wasn't, but it obviously was. And then the girl's perspective, you get her perspective at the very end, which is cool. It's a really good movie though. That's cool. Obviously if you watch it, it's cool too because it's a true story and based off an actual book where they wrote about the I guess there's actually no girl perspective. That was actually written in by them. There's only the 2 guys because it makes sense at that time. They probably weren't very interested in what the woman had to say, And it's an interesting movie though because like it also fit in with the times too, with believing women and Me Too, but it also didn't feel like it was shoved in your face though. It felt like it was literally like one of the first recorded instances of this happening where it's this woman's word and it does seem like she's telling the truth, but then it's against this dude who has all this power and he's a knight and it's like, oh, okay, well, who are they going to believe? And it's actually a really good movie though. And then it's worth it too, because even though it's a lot of dialogue, the fight at the end, the actual battle, fucking badass. It was like a Game of Thrones like battle. It reminded me of like the mountain and the viper fighting. Like it was cool. Like it builds up to it, but the last duel does not disappoint. Like it's a good fight. And dude, you'd probably like it. The story is just interesting, and it's interesting to see a story about rape and like believing women that takes place in this time and like from it's just weird the way they do it with the perspectives. I've never seen a movie in medieval times do that, like normally they do that with like a more current movie like that takes place in this time, but they literally like show, it's cool because they show the same part 3 times in each part, but it's slightly different because it's from Matt Damon's perspective, then you see it from Adam Driver's perspective, then you see it from her perspective, and all three are they're all very similar, but they're all slightly different, and it makes it really, really cool. It's a very interesting movie. You'd probably like it just because of, I thought that was cool. I just thought it was cool how you literally see sometimes the dialogue's even the same, like between Adam Driver and Matt Damon's version. Sometimes even what they're saying is the same, but you see instead in Adam Driver's version, Matt Damon says it instead of him saying it in Matt Damon's version. It's so interesting because it's like literally like the same story, but it just makes you think of like the game Telephone and just about real life, about how like literally everybody could be at the same thing and all have different perspectives of actually what happened, you know? Because you could tell Adam Driver really did believe I'm the shit. This chick wanted me. And then you see it from her perspective, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, and it's very interesting. It just really makes you think about perspective and about how much that influences decisions, and then how faulty it is to begin with. You know, how faulty memory is in the first place. It's a good movie. It's cool.
That's definitely sounds interesting. It sounds like it's directed interesting. It sounds like a lot of what I feel like I'm kind of dealing with when it comes to like music, like making music. I've been noticing, like, I don't know, depending on my mood, I like a certain song or not, or like, and it's like my perspective of how I actually hear myself on the song has to be different than what other people are hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm trying to
talked about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make music somewhere in the middle where I know I enjoy it, but I also can kind of like put into context what other people might hear when they first hear it on their first listen. I think that's the most important thing that I'm starting to pay attention to, is like, I'm noticing that a lot when I make music, I hear the song over and over and over, and I get used to it. I'm waiting for things to come up. I'm going off on topic a little bit.
No, yeah. No,
but,
you're good.
But it's interesting to see, like, damn, like I'm trying to make music now and think about the first listen again, and like, and I mean, not again for the first time ever. Before I would just make, oh, this sounds good. I know, you know, I don't know what the fuck ever, but perspective does play a huge toll on things, and even in just like relationships and life. It's just like interesting because I'm starting to do therapy and all these new fucking medications. I'm like starting to see a lot of the things I used to say and do, I truly believed in, like things I said like months ago, weeks ago. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's wild to just be this. I don't know what the fuck ever. Going off on a tangent.
No, dude. I what you're saying with music perspective, I totally understand. It's funny too. I mean, more in a cocky sense. Yesterday, I was actually telling Frankie this because I recorded. I don't know if you listened to it, but I recorded that song, and then I re-recorded it. I sent you a new version like at 11 last night. It's the same verse, but it sounds much cleaner, much better. Because yesterday I kind of was in a rush, so it sounded cool. But then I fixed it last night, so I sent it. You have it, but last night when I was listening to it, I was like, fuck, you know. I was telling Frankie, I was like, because I agree, like. But for me, it's now like, and this sounds like an asshole thing to say. For me now, though, I feel like maybe I could be completely wrong. But now, lately, at least this week, I feel like when I've been writing, I know when I write something now that it sounds good. I know that it's going to sound good. Even if maybe I don't end up liking it in the end, I know now what sounds good, you know, in a way. Like, I feel like for the longest time, I was in that teeter-totter where, oh, I think this sounds good, but I wouldn't really know until I put it over the record if it was going to sound okay. And now, I mean, sometimes there are things that I think are okay and they're not. But for the most part, now, normally when I'm writing something down, there's not too many edits I have to do after because I already know how it's going to sound over the beat, at least, or I can hear it.
Do you still write out your whole verse? And then record it? Dude, I have not done that in years. My writing is so different lately.
Really? See, I read out my whole verse, and then normally when I'm recording, if there's little parts that need to be fixed, I'll do that without writing it down. I'll just fix them on the fly now. You know, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna take this out and fix it. But for the most part, I don't know. I like to write just because it's easier for me. I'm definitely not like shooting it down or saying it's bad, but I'm just like noticing too that like in the last 3 years, all of Mind Control, not all of Mind Control, all of Mindfuck, and then parts of
whatever the fuck one, the introvert one before that. I just record, bro. I just put on the beat and then just start humming along and then just do a bar and then I'll bring another, or I'll freestyle it. A lot of the new songs I've been making, all of Wolf was basically freestyled. Like I just fucking go on and record and then if I like something, I'll listen to it. And then I'll pitch it, go in on a bar and like redo it or rewrite it.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that, bro.
I've never done it until like last few years. It was interesting. But
I don't know if you remember that dude. I did a song or two with him. His name was like 380 in the building. He was from Georgia. I don't know. I maybe you never heard him. They were like a couple years ago, but he was actually really good. And I remember he had told me that that's what he does. He's like, I just record bar by bar. He's like, I'll do a bar or two, and if they sound good, I'll add a bar or two after, and then I'll add a bar or two or take them. He's like, I don't write at all. And I know like some people don't write at all. Like Jay-Z doesn't really write things down anymore. Yeah. And like, I know a lot of people do that, you know? So that's cool. I wish I could do that.
It's like sometimes
I don't have the patience to fucking do a bar though, listen to it and then take it out or leave it.
Well, never that. I won't do a bar and then come back and do another bar. Not like, hell no. That seems too fucking annoying. But I will like freestyle an entire verse and then be like, oh, I like that part. Let me rewrite this. And the way I've been actually writing lyrics down, like all I do is I have notes on my phone, and it's literally like it's just lines. It's nothing really even rhymes. It's just like lines that sound like poetic lines, like things that come to me, and I'll just write down a line, and then I'll find something that rhymes with it. And like a lot of my like the I love he's addicted to drugs, she's addicted to drinks. Like that was just a line that came to me, and then now it's the beginning of this new song I'm working on. Like this one, this line right here. I love when she lets the dog on the bed when she's drunk, and how her wine whiskers look when she's ready to fuck. Like that don't really rhyme, but there's something there, you know. I like wine whiskers, but that line alone will just spark the whole song. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I've been doing lately.
No, I've been trying to experiment with that more too. The fact of not everything always has to rhyme, which sounds weird when you talk about rap, but I think that it's a lesson that a lot of rappers don't ever learn, and the ones who do, it really does expand what you can do with the song when you start to realize that every last word doesn't have to rhyme. Sometimes you could rhyme the words in the sentence and not the last word, or sometimes it doesn't even have to rhyme because you can do a bar, another bar that doesn't rhyme, but then the next bar will rhyme with the bar that was 2 bars before that, and that actually sounds sufficient too. Yeah, it's like there's just a lot you can do.
Or you can use the tone of your voice and the inflection of how you say words to literally make a word that doesn't rhyme with another word actually sound like it does. Like I'm noticing a lot of people do that. Even like Adele, singers do that. Like it's wild.
You know who that hit home? Chance the Rapper made that hit home for me. When I heard him rhyme, he does it on his first one. He says, "You want rhyming with ramen noodle," or he says some shit. Yeah. And I remember I was like, dude, like, and then he does it a lot, like an acid rap, you know, where there's words that do not rhyme at all, but the way he says it, it's like, oh shit, which is really cool. Yeah, dude, it's cool how the more you write, you start to notice things. Like I noticed too, like how sometimes, like instead of having 2 different bars, sometimes it actually sounds better to repeat that bar. Yeah. Or to have, I don't know, have space in between. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting once you start to realize that it's not all just about the words. There's also, you have to think about the spaces in between and the silences. And then once you start to realize like the space and silence is also almost like a sound in itself, that makes it just even, I don't know.
Using the beat, like the spacing of the beats, like the instrumental, like, you know. Do you feel like you got better at songwriting after Get Back?
I don't know, bro.
I do.
But this morning, bro, I finished Beneath the Winter Snow. I wrote 2 verses. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Yeah. And then I finished 2 other songs, writing them literally this morning. I don't know why. I've been on this morning, bro. I got up like at 6, and I fucking I wrote most of Beneath the Winter Snow last night though, and I just finished it. But the other 2, I finished.
How many verses?
I was like, oh shit.
How many verses
for Beneath the Winter Snow?
Yeah.
So 2. I'm only doing 2. So the first one is dope, and I was gonna leave it at that. But then originally, when I was gonna do the song, I had something in mind for a verse, and that didn't make it into the first one. So I wrote a second so I could add it in, which I think you'll like the second a lot. It's dope, bro. It came out really. I'm actually really, really excited to record it. I think you'll really like it. Like You know, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Yeah, for sure, dude. I want to tell you about the shit you sent me when you did the verse. It was like I really liked it. I liked your changes.
What verse?
The one that you changed on mine.
Oh,
I did hear it last night on the way home from the thing. I was like tripping out. Like it was such a trip to just hear you do my verse, kind of like it was just like interesting. But like I do like the changes. I think you. It's funny because you changed the exact lines that I would have changed to. I don't know if I would not have thought to change them the way you did. Like, it's funny because you could see your, like, in the lines that you used, like, I was like, that's a fucking Corey line. Like, it's just funny, like, interesting. Like, what do you say? Like, getting off the stage to congratulations and cups. Yeah, and I was like, that's a Corey bar for sure, bro. That's a Corey. Like, I would never write that ever. And that's not a bad thing. It's just that, like, it's just funny to hear, like, that's just to see the differences in lines.
I felt like it went with your lines though, because you say that I want to be a big star and stuff.
No,
big bar and stuff, big bra and butt. So it's like applause and cups.
Yeah, no, that's tight. I did like it. Yeah, for sure.
And no, dude, that's why, like, because you had told me, you're like, yeah, I don't know if, like, you loved your verse. And, like, dude, I swear, like, the way it starts, bro, like, I love it. I feel like it really sets the tone. I want to be a big dude. I love it. That's why I was like, but there were parts, though, those ones that I changed. That I was like, oh, I was like, these are parts that I like. I feel like aren't my favorite, and then the rest of it, the ones that I left was because like I liked all those parts.
Yeah,
and like it wasn't even there was anything wrong. I just felt like the naked sounded weird. Yeah. in reference to the song, you know. So that's why I tried to, like, when I was writing it over, like I was trying to rhyme them where then I can fix parts, but then it'll come back to your verse, though, you know, without it just becoming completely different, and tried to just think about where you were coming from with your verse, which was actually kind of fun to do. I was trying to think, like, you know, like the line where it's like, "Daddy, while you asleep, you feel stuck." Like, I was like, you know,
there's definitely it's definitely interesting. Like, and definitely, I'm gonna mess with it and see what I can do with it and see where I can take it. But it was
I showed you where you could take it.
Well, it's interesting to see one that you would change the same lines I would change, and to see how you would. I think I'll probably keep the applause and cups line. I don't know. I have to look at it and listen to it.
Yeah, no, do whatever you want.
But a part of me thinks that maybe you should just keep the whole song, and I'll just have my little part on the hook, and then you can just redo the whole first verse and keep the parts that sound good to you. But
well, I mean, let's see. I mean, look at it first, because if we can both do it, I'd be more down for that. You know, because I really like my second verse, and I don't know what I'd write for a first verse.
No, I'm saying you keep my verse, but you just rap it.
Oh, just change parts. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, you just keep the whole song, and you just keep my verse and just change it and keep it how you want it.
Let's see what you can do first.
Yeah,
and then if you don't like it, I'm down, because I like the song.
I will say it does have like this weird Keem vibe, like that's like that. I've never rapped like that before, and I think that's the reason I was able to like do that voice. I was kind of just fucking around. I didn't think I was gonna keep this song at all. So, but if you say you love it so much, and it's making me like it more. And I liked your fucking verse was fire. It makes me want to redo mine and rap. Like, you made it sound like a New York fucking hip hop song, and I'm over there fucking doing some weird like new age rap shit. Like, I want to.
Dude, that's why I kind of like it. I kind of like the dichotomy of it, like the changes. I also though I'm glad you said that, though, because like I've been listening to a lot of like Earl Sweatshirt, and like that's kind of like what I was trying to rap like, because like Earl does that a lot, where it's like he's like, I don't know, it's very like heavy on like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, there's a lot of and there's a lot of words, and like sometimes like the way they rhyme, or like the way they offset, like the Penny Savage Fenty. Like I like that, like, you know, or it's like Ghostface Killer does shit like that too. The way he raps, you know,
exactly,
which is what I was going for. So I'm glad you said that.
And the beat, hell yeah, it was fire, dude. I'm telling you. And then the beat sounds better to me with bars, and it's like what I feel like I might end up doing is like keep a lot of the like probably the first few bars.
I was gonna say the opening of your verse. I think it sets off the song, especially with the little intro you have where you can hear you can say hey in the background.
I'm telling you, I did not think that this was gonna do anything. I thought I was gonna throw it away. So,
wait, is that too small?
She's so fat.
Let me see. I'll show Mikey.
Why is she so fat?
This does look a little chunky.
Oh shit! No, she's good. She's good. That's perfect.
Mikey said she's good.
That's perfect.
Oh, I like how it has a little butt flap thing.
So she can pee.
But she seems okay.
I'm gonna cut just right here.
Yeah, cut it around her neck maybe and give it a little, let her breathe.
Jane's so skinny. I have to get her smaller shit. She's fucking tiny. She's not like I have to get her. We got her a large one. I think I have to get her medium, even though she's a fucking pit bull.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, Chacha wears like it's weird. Medium sometimes too big, and then small sometimes too small. She's like weird. Right in between. But yeah, we got super off.
Yeah, fuck.
So the third movie is Dune.
Hold on, let me pause here because I gotta pee real bad. All right. Let me see my 1524. Let me write this down real quick. My fault.
Oh no, you're good.
I said I could already hear it. I just fucking get off the stage to applause and cups, and then I just start.
Hey, bro, that would be good. Yeah. If I was gonna change the whole verse, I would change it after that line too. Mm-hmm. But I do like your verse. But if you want to change it and do more like rapping, that would be cool because the way it opens with the I feel like even if you don't like it, I feel like that's immediately when I heard it the first time, like. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this sounds like I originally wanted to rap like you. But then once the verse came, I don't know, it started coming out that way. And I was like, oh, I like this. So I went with that. But originally, like those first four, I really like that. But yeah. Let me get, okay, so Dune.
Dune, really? Interesting.
Yeah, Dune.
Wow.
Because I read the book like during the pandemic sometime. And the book and the movie, honestly, the movie is like spot on. One of the best, I think, film adaptations I've ever seen of a book. And only because have you seen Dune? Adaptation, my bad.
Sorry.
No, good. Thank you. Have you seen Dune?
No, I haven't seen any of the movies you said, which is interesting.
Okay, so Dune, I won't even get into it because it's really hard to explain this movie book without really seeing it. But I will say I liked it because so the movie is actually only half of the first book, which I don't know if a lot of people know. I'm pretty sure people do know that because where it ends is very like early on. So she's walking weird.
She's fat.
The second half is gonna be crazy, but the first half it was just done really, really well, and like all the characters kind of look exactly what I thought they'd look like when I read the book, and then also he does a really good job of because in the book the desert's kind of like where they live on the planet is almost like it feels like a character in the book, and he kind of does it's not like it doesn't have dialogue, but it feels like it's very important, and I feel like he does a really good job of emphasizing that in the movie, and then dude, it's just good because like the story, I think you'd be interested in them because I don't know how far they're gonna go with it, but there's like 8 books, but the first 4 books, the first one is what they're doing now. The second part of the movie will be part of the first book still. But then the second book, so the first book's all about Paul Atreides coming into power. Then the second book is about his kids taking over after him. The third book's about his grandkids taking over after his kids. It's cool because like each book is like, it's almost like Lord of the Rings. It's like its own little universe. Yeah. And it's very, very complex and there's a lot going on. But it's about generations of this family, which is cool because each book is a new generation of the same family and expanding on their empire. It feels like you're reading a history book almost about something that actually happened. And the movie, I feel like, does a pretty good job at that. It's a good movie.
Sounds like
honestly,
a studio.
I would probably be.
No, it sounds like a studio executive's like wet dream, like just this franchise that with new generations of a cast, to continue to make movies forever. Like,
and dude, the book was written a long ass time ago. Like it was written early, but it's cool too. The dude who made it, Dennis Villeneuve, is the dude who did Arrival. You saw Arrival, right? With the language and Amy Adams.
I tried. I fucking never. This was when it first came out. I tried watching it like 2 times. And I never finished it.
Oh, bro, watch it.
The alien one, right?
If you watch it to the very end, I feel like you'd love it. It's one of my favorite like sci-fi movies. Yeah, it's because it's all about language. Like at the heart of it, it's about language and about time.
That's why I never got into the first time. I was all fucking like, what the fuck is this? Because I watched it with no subtitles. And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, what the fuck is that? So yeah.
No, yeah, you should definitely watch it again. But it's that same dude who did that movie that did Dune. But yeah, that would be the last one for me. But Dune is
you have no
amazing.
list, no order, huh? Nothing off the top of your head that you like the most.
If I had to pick out of those three, it'd probably be that one, Dune. Yeah.
That's interesting because I've never seen any of those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's yours?
All right, so yeah, we already gone what 50 minutes, almost an hour. Okay, but I'll try to go not a little quicker. But honorable mentions, I only have two. I know I'm pretty sure you haven't seen either one of these, but I think I've talked to you about them. And I both really wanted to mention them because I liked them both for kind of the same reasons. I liked Halloween Kills, except for the writing was a bit better in these. Till Death and The Boy Behind the Door. Till Death is with Megan Fox. And, yeah. And the whole concept of the movie, I can't really say without giving away a huge moment, but it's fucking original as shit and it's interesting. And Megan Fox does a good job in it. And it was like, honestly, like a good movie. I really, really liked it. It was almost on my top 3. I mean, honestly, if I had to do a top 3 of movies that I've seen that came out this year, my list would be totally fucking different. But because we did movies that came out this year, it was really hard.
No, same.
Yeah. But Till Death is really good. I would recommend it. You and Frankie would fucking love it. Like a night where you guys are just chilling. It's a fucking good movie. It's fun, but it's actually really good and original.
I've been thinking about watching it because I remember you told me about it. So maybe I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to just like kind of have on. And then The Boy Behind the Door was honestly like one of the best movies I've ever seen. But like the best examples of like a great movie where the writing is super unoriginal and it's kind of like what's gonna happen, but it's like just the way that it's directed, the way the audio works, like it's like a perfect movie, except the writing is kind of like unoriginal and bland.
What's it about?
It's kind of hard to explain, but it's basically like, without giving too much away, I guess it's just like these two boys who are this little boy who's like trapped in a house and he's trying to escape, I guess, basically, or help his friend escape. And there's this guy who lives there, and like it's. I only watched it the one time, so like I don't want to give too much away because or say something off. But I do remember just directorially and the way how it was shot, it was really good. So that came out this year, and that's on a lot of top lists, and definitely a good one, worth the watch. The kid who's in it does a really good job. He's a good actor. That's another thing that's good about the movie. It's fucking really well acted. All right, so I do have a list, and my third is Willy's Wonderland. That came out this year.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
I liked Willy's Wonderland a lot. It's fun. I've watched it multiple times. Nico was over recently, and I made him watch it with me. It was really fun. The girls liked it. They still like it. When we went to Chuck E. Cheese for Mila's birthday, I kept making jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Mila likes it a lot. And that's another cool part of it. Just anecdotally, it's just been a really fun movie this year.
That's cool, dude. Paul liked it a lot too, dude. Dude, speaking of that though, if you liked Willy's Wonderland, bro, that much, you need to watch Prisoners of Ghostland.
Oh, well,
me and Paul watched it, bro. Honestly, it was more ridiculous than Willy's Wonderland. I really don't. There were some parts I was a little confused about what was going on in the movie, but bro, let's just say his nut explodes at one part. It is the movie is crazy.
Oh my god!
And it all takes place in like China or somewhere, and it's very. They play on the tropes of kind of like the old movies, like the old, like the almost like the anime thing to that, like how everybody is. Honestly, dude, it was like peak Nick Cage. Like it was amazing. And he doesn't talk a lot in the movie. And then, dude, the fact that Sophia Boutella was in it was just like, all right. Ever since Climax, I'm in love.
Dude, we need to revisit. We need to do a revisit Climax episode. I'd be so down to do that. That'd be so much fun just to watch it again.
Honestly, bro, I love that movie so much now.
Me too.
Like, I think about it a lot.
Me too. I recommended it to Cascade on Twitter recently. He tweeted, "What's good to watch on streaming?" And I said, "Dude, watch Climax. It's basically about this, and you'll love it. Blah, blah, great music." Blah, blah, blah. And then a bunch of people liked it and stuff like that. But Yeah, it's interesting. I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. But no, dude, Willie's was Willie's was interesting, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should definitely watch The Prisoners of Ghostland,
For
especially
sure.
if you like. Yeah,
Dude, there was a movie that I kept recommending to you. It was a horror movie, and it has like Ghost in the title, but I couldn't remember what it was. I think it's Ghost or like Ghostland or like not Ghostland.
Is it with Nicolas Cage?
No.
Oh,
It's another one, and then you said you watched it, and then it's like a scary movie or like I don't know. Fuck, it might not have Ghost in the title, but it's like shit. It's like a scary movie that I recommended to you, and then you ended up watching, and it was like we only talked about it once. Like we didn't really talk much about it, but it was a really good movie, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. I'm pretty sure it was like a scary movie about these two girls, like what the fuck? Why do I want to?
and I watched it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think. I don't remember. If you could give me a little more info, maybe.
I feel like Ghost is in the title, or lamp, or gas lamp, or something like that. And I feel like it was about these. So many movies I've watched this year. Fuck, I know it's a thing. It is real.
It is real.
I can't remember, dude. I don't remember.
And we didn't do a podcast. You just
we
told
didn't
me
do
to
it.
watch
I recommended it to you, and then you said you ended up watching it, and it was just like, I feel like it was about these like crazy dudes who were like these crazy evil killer dudes, and I feel like one of them had like a weapon or something. And I'm just I don't know, fuck.
I don't know why this is what I'm thinking of, but I don't think it's the movie you're talking about. Is the Korean one of the devil?
No,
the one where he's like following the guy around and beating his ass every time.
No, not that one. That was a good one though.
Yeah,
it was around that time though.
Shit,
fuck, dude. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck, dude. God damn it. Just keep thinking of you. Do you have anything in mind at all? Do you remember us talking about something? Does that sound familiar? Am I dreaming?
I mean, bro, to be honest, we talk about a lot. So
I know. But then this is one of those ones that I said to you like once or twice, and I told you how good Prisoners in the Gas Lamp. Wait, what is the movie with Nick Cage you just said?
Prisoners in Ghostland.
Wait, I feel like Ghost is in the Ghost horror movie 2021.
I was looking it up right now too.
The Unholy. God damn it, bruh. And it was funny because I was looking at it. I was looking for it when I was trying to make my list, and I couldn't find it. But I remember it was really good, and we watched it this year.
That might have been in your head, bro.
I guess so. Maybe it wasn't Ghost. It was like Gas Lamp.
I don't know, bro.
Malignant. Gaslight. No, I'm fucking pissed, bro. Whatever.
What's your number 2?
I quit. My number 2 is Fatherhood with Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. I haven't seen it, but
I watched it. I think like almost twice. The second time I didn't finish it or finish the whole way through. It's really interesting in the way that it's shot. The plot is like there's not really a plot. There is and there isn't. It's really like I don't think that you will really like it. Honestly, I'll say that. I think that it's kind of like stagnant, the plot a little bit. There's like scenes that are there that don't really need to be there, that don't make sense. The timing of it is kind of weird, but it's other than that, I think it's a really fucking good movie, and Kevin Hart honestly does a really fucking good job in it, like acting wise. There's a scene where I don't know. It's not giving away anything, but in the trailer you find out he has to raise his daughter after his wife dies in an accident or dies when the baby's born, and so it's super fucking sad and emotional, but it's really, really, really fucking good, and touches a lot of stuff about fatherhood. Like there's this line where the father-in-law tells Kevin Hart, as Kevin Hart's like asking for advice, like, and he says, "Best thing I could tell you about fatherhood is just to let go." And I was just like, oh my God, dude. I cried openly multiple times during when I watched this because it just hit so close to home for me. And then I was also coming down. It was after hard summer. So yeah, that too. But it hit hard, it hit good. You know, I would definitely recommend it. Like I would check it out if it's on Netflix.
Okay, yeah, I know you told me about it, so maybe I will.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't mind him.
Yeah, it's a good movie, dude. I'm telling you, it's not. It was different to see Kevin Hart in like a legitimate role, and he does it well. It doesn't seem corny to me, like like the Beatles would say, corny. My top movie, I don't think you've seen either. The Midnight Sky. You didn't watch that, did you?
Oh, is that the one with?
I keep forgetting his name.
Is that the one with George Clooney?
Yes, it's fucking great.
Okay, is it? Okay,
yes.
I'm gonna have to give it. So I'm gonna have to give it another shot. Me and Frankie started it, and we both got super bored, and I turned it off. I turned it off within like 30 minutes because it was just like normally I give a movie 30 minutes, and if I'm not into it enough that I want to keep seeing what's happening, we'll turn it off sometimes. And that was one of them, and it sucks though because I love George. I love George Clooney. Like I think he's a great actor, and the premise of the movie sounded really good. And everything, and I remember the trailer looked good too. So maybe I'll just have to get past the beginning. Yeah,
I've watched it multiple times. The soundtrack is gorgeous. Like, and it's like there's a scene towards the middle you'll get into it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. All right, I'll check it out again though, because I remember I wanted to like it, and but then I just forgot about it after.
One of the best payoffs of a movie ever, like ever.
Okay. Cool.
I'll just say that. So yeah, those are my movies.
That's a big word,
dude. It's a great fucking movie, dude. I'm telling you, you'll fucking love it. It really is worth it. And this is one of the ones. If it wasn't, because technically it came out like late December of 2020. Yeah. So if I'm glad we were able to our new rule. So yes, sir.
Rules. Nice.
So where do you want to go from here?
TV. Let's go. Logical. Bro, I got these. This one's easy. So I want to just rattle off all three, and then I'll go in them. Hopefully, I don't know if you've seen. Okay, so Get Back is on there. Get Back. Just because it was, I don't know. I still have to watch it again. But honestly, though, it's just rejuvenated my love for the Beatles. Mm-hmm. Like, it's put them back on top. It's just made me want to work on music and be more focused. Like, it was amazing.
It was a moment.
We literally just did an episode about it. So, but it was amazing. Yeah, so that's on there.
Now. It's literally being uploaded right now.
Oh, nice. And then Invincible. Have you seen Invincible? I didn't realize that came out this year.
A TV show?
Cartoon. It's a cartoon on Amazon Prime, and it's only 8 episodes right now. So the story is honestly, bro. Did you ever watch The Boys?
No.
Okay, The Boys is amazing too. That didn't come out this year though. Otherwise, I would have added that. The Boys, you should go check out though, bro. That's about the superheroes, but the superheroes are like. It's like in today's age, and the superheroes are actually kind of like celebrities. So even though they save the world from big evils, they're fucking assholes. Like, they're assholes. Like, the main dude, he's like Superman. He's a dick. Like, he'll get mad. He'll kill somebody or something. Like, it's very like, oh, they're celebrities. So then they kind of sweep things under the rug, too. And also, they're superheroes. Who's going to stop them from doing whatever the fuck they want to do? It's an interesting show. But Invincible kind of is sort of like that. And it's about... the dad he's invincible. And then he has his son with this girl because he's married to like a human. And he has this son who's obviously half human, half what he is, which is kind of like almost like a god in a way. And the son, though, has the same power as the son. And it's interesting because in the beginning, the dad's like very like loves his son. You could tell loves his son. But then his son starts displaying powers. And I don't think the dad is ready for that. And then I think the dad starts to realize that the son is going to they haven't really gone into it, is maybe going to be stronger than him. So then it becomes this battle between father and son. And it hasn't finished. There's going to be a second season. But dude, the last episode of that show, there's a part in it that I remember I read an interview and they talked about, the director was saying how like, because it's based off a comic book. He's like, we had to do a cartoon specifically too because of this one shot, because dude, the shot is so brutal. Like it's this scene where like he's trying to show his son how powerful he is, and it's fucking brutal. And the guy said, he's like, there's no way you could do this unless it was a cartoon, just because of how violent the scene actually is. And bro, it's the whole show is great. dude.
I'll watch it.
Check it out today. Watch the first episode. First episode is really good. It's pretty good, dude. The last 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes of the first episode is when you'll be hooked after it, because like the first episode's good, then the last 5 minutes, dude. I remember I had seen it on Twitter and I was like, I saw just the last 5 minutes. I was like, what is this? I was like, this looks fucking brutal. And then I watched the first episode and it's the end of the first episode, and dude, like after that is like I'm into it, bro. It's an amazing story. It's very violent, but it's dope, bro. Just watch the first episode and text me right after you finish it. Because right after I finished it, I was like, what? It almost gave me like, a Mountain and Viper feeling, where you feel like, what the fuck did I just see? You know, it's dope. Check it out. Invincible, great. It's great. And I think the episodes are only 30 minutes and it's only like 8, or they might be 40 minutes, but you'll fly through it. Very easy. Then this show, I don't know if you saw it, but definitely this, honestly, if I had to have a number one, probably would be the number one, even though I loved Get Back and Invincible, is Mayor of Easttown. Did you watch Mayor of Easttown?
No. I've heard a lot about it.
Oh, it's with Rose from, Titanic, Kate Winslet.
Yes.
And it's about, and then she's a police officer, and then it's like about a murder that happens in her small town. Very simple concept. The show, though, is just the writing, the acting. It's just very powerful. It's amazing. And then she's such a good actress that it's just like, it's a beautiful show. It's very sad, but very good. Even the murder, the twist at the end, it all works out really good, where it doesn't feel forced. It's great. It's a great show. And then Roy's in it from The Office. He's like her ex-husband. And I was like, oh shit, Roy. Yeah, dude, It's a good show. Mayor of Easttown, easily though, was the best like overall TV show, written, acted, everything that I saw this year. But I have one mention too that I was gonna put on, but those quick, other 3 took it. What?
The Easttown season, there's just only one?
Yeah, it's only one. It's just a limited series, 1 season and done, which I like too. There's nothing else. It obviously has an ending. But then there's a show I wanted to mention that I didn't put it on the list, but it was pretty close. You should check it out. The girls might even like it too. It's called Reservation Dogs.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me a few times.
Yeah, dude, it's good. It's funny. It's sad. It's heartwarming. Yes, thank you. It's a great show. And then those are only 30-minute episodes too, and you'll fly through it. It's only 1 season right now. Yeah, that's definitely, you should check that one out too. You could watch that too with the family too. They'd probably like it. It's just a good overall show all around,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good list. I've seen Easttown and Reservation Dogs on a lot of lists when I was looking things up too.
Oh, dude, great shows.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Alice in Borderland.
Did that come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that would have been actually the 3 I have I would still keep, but that would definitely be an honorable, because I really, really enjoyed Alice in Borderland.
Technically, the first episode came out in like middle December, so I don't know if that counts. It still counts.
It's 2 seasons though, no?
No, Alice in Borderland? No, it's just one season.
It's only one.
Yeah, just the 1 season.
You're right.
Yeah. But
last episode, still, when they fucking have the hotel, though, is still one of the best. That was probably one of the best episodes of a show. Probably one of the best like single episodes of a show that I saw this year, though. That one was it was intense.
For sure.
Yeah.
My honorable mentions, I'll go over those first. Would be Dexter: New Blood, which I know that we've talked about. But dude, it's getting fucking interesting. Like, I doubt you'll really ever watch it because you don't seem like you will. But for anybody who doesn't want to know any spoilers, skip ahead for like a few minutes. But basically, what happens is Dexter, his son, comes back and finds him, and he's older and he looks like him kind of. And the kid who plays, what's his name, Harrison, does a fucking great job. And you slowly kind of start to find out that Harrison is just like Dexter, and he kind of has, but it looks like he kills the way that the Trinity Killer kills, how his mom was killed. So, and you start learning all this different stuff about
kind of like background, because he was in the bathtub.
Yeah, he was on the floor. When it happened. Yeah, it's fucking tight, and it's very well done. I'm telling you, it reminds me of the early Dexter shit. Like, it does.
kind of like, I mean, tell me without telling me, because if it is, I might check it out just because of that. Is it kind of like Dexter almost has to intervene or stop his son because his son's doing things that Dexter wouldn't do, like he's killing good people too? Because that would be a really, really cool twist, actually.
Yes.
His son grew up to be kind of psycho and kind of the opposite of what Dexter was.
It seems right now cool. He's still that could be a possibility. I don't know necessarily because it's still in the early phases.
How many episodes?
It's only 4 episodes in, or 5 maybe. Five.
Because that could be a twist that could make it really amazing, where almost like Dexter has to kill his son, or the son kills Dexter, or something like that. Would be like,
I could totally see it getting there. I could totally see it getting there. And it's like, honestly, like it does, like the main part of it that I really like is that it doesn't feel like corny and like enforced. Like, you know, it's done very well. So that's why I would want to mention it.
Sorry. Wait, what are you doing? Is she just standing there? What are you doing, Chacha?
She's about to poop.
I don't know. She's just standing on the... All right. Come here. Here, let me... Looks like a little psycho. All right, come on. Okay. My bad. All right,
no, you're
ahead.
good.
Yes.
And then another thing that I wanted to mention too, which I didn't want to put in TV shows because it's not necessarily a TV show, is Shane Gillis's new comedy special, which is on YouTube.
I don't even know who that is.
Shane Gillis, he was on SNL. He got canceled because of this like racist shit he said on a podcast. He said like chink or something like that on a podcast one time and got fucking canceled for it. But he was about to get on SNL. He was like, whatever. It was a big story, but fucking probably one of the best comedy specials I've seen ever. I've watched it multiple times. It's on YouTube. It's free. Just type in Shane Gillis. I'll send it to you, dude. You'll fucking love it. Just I don't know. You watch comedy specials at all ever?
Not a lot, but I love when we find a good one. I love that shit. You know,
it's bomb. It's fucking funny as fuck. But
like the last like the newest. I mean, besides like Dave Chappelle, the last like big stand up that I saw that was like newer and that I thought was amazing was Bill Burr's, like the Paper Tiger. But I don't watch a lot, you know. Most of the time it's like shit Dado will send me, or if you tell me. So I'll definitely send it to me. I'll check it out.
And the cool thing about this is it's on YouTube and it's free, so you just fucking play it. But yeah, if anybody's listening, that shit is funny, super hilarious. TV shows, number 3 was Get Back. The only reason I had it as number 3 is like it didn't really even feel like a TV show. It was not to take anything away from it. It felt like something else, but I had to at least have it on there. Number 2, Alice in Borderland. Fucking amazing. We've talked about it. We did an episode on it. Alice in Borderland's fucking, dude, I can't fucking wait for the next season. Squid Game. Me neither. Fucking Squid Game was on my dishonorable.
Did you ever watch mentions.
That? No, but it sucks. That's why.
Watch it. Honestly, watch it.
I will.
It's definitely the poor man's Alice in Borderland, but Squid Games it's worth watching for sure. But it's definitely like it actually is a really good show. It's actually, you'll like it, bro. And so I will say this is what I tell people.
You honk at him?
I forgot the name of the show. Squid Games.
You opened your mouth, the honk came out.
Squid Games is much quicker to get into. It's kind of like almost instant, like halfway through the first episode, you're like, whoa. And I felt like Alice in Borderlands was a slow burn over the first 2, and then the third was just so whoa that it was like the rest was just amazing. So Squid Games is good. You check it out. You'll like it. But yeah, like I said, it's the poor man's Alice.
I will say, it was right at the top of my dishonorable mentions list, and there's definitely a point for Bud Light sometimes. You know, sometimes you want a Bud Light, you know, but you know, that's what Squid Games is compared to like a nice cold Heineken like Alice in Borderland.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, top of my list, 9 Perfect Strangers, probably up there with Game of Thrones and things like that, dude. It's fucking amazing, bro. You're gonna love it, and you'll fly through it. It's a fucking great show.
You know, we started the first episode one night, and I was it was when you first told me about it, but I was very tired, so I was falling asleep, and then I just haven't been back to it. But I want to watch it because it sounds interesting, and I like all the actors.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, dude. So well acted, so well directed. One of those shows or things that when you watch it, it's like you instantly, like once you see the characters kind of like talking back and forth, it has like that Ocean's 11 feel where it's like, what the fuck? Like, and it's like so well acted. It's just like, it feels different and weird. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's fucking great fucking show. And the way it pays off and the way it builds up, dude, it's like it almost feels like a play or like an opera or something, like the way that the music's involved. And then it's fucking crazy, dude. You're gonna love it. And when you watch it, I would love to do an episode a podcast on it.
Yeah, I remember you wanted to, so I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I'll get into it. There's so much shit, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, and then it's like if you don't watch it when it comes out, it's like you forget that it ever existed. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? You want to end with books or you want to end with music? Maybe we end with music.
And that's what I was thinking too.
All right. So books next.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, books. So I actually have a. So I'll do the honorable mentions first. So there's this book I read. It's called Her Body and Other Parties. I read it on my phone. It's by Carmen Maria Mercado. It's I only mention it because it's interesting. It's like 8 different stories, and they're all about like, I didn't know it was all about women, but because I'd read it was like horror, but it's like kind of like surrealist. So like they're all different stories about women, but they're obviously all trying to make a point, you know? Like one of them's about, they're all short stories too. Like one of them's about in the world, women they don't disappear. Like they still are alive, but their bodies start to fade out. And kind of the story, like the way they're written though, they're very like, you have to read into it. They don't just give you what it's about. It's like you have to you pick it up. That it's kind of about, because you start to hear the guys talking and how they're only interested in the girls with bodies, which does make sense. But it's like,
so this is a fictional book.
Yeah, but it also kind of shows like how these women, just because they can't be made into sexual objects anymore because they have no bodies, they're completely forgotten about, and nobody cares why they're disappearing. They only care about the women that are here. The women that are starting to fade out, it's like at first it was a big deal when it first started happening because people are like, what's happening? But now it's like when they start to fade out, it's like, okay, well, I'm done with you then, because like you don't have any physical substance anymore, so you're not really important. And like it's almost like kind of saying that, like without your body, like we don't have any interest in you. You know, we don't care where you guys are going when you leave, because who cares? Like your body's not here anymore. Why do I care what's happening to your spirit? You know, it's very interesting. But, yeah. But there's a couple. Like there's one that's crazy. The whole that was the longest one. It's like 90 pages, and it was called like Law and Order or something. And the whole thing is written episode. It says season 1, episode 1. And it's like a little quote from Benson or Stabler. And then season 1, episode 2. But the whole thing, because at first I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then you start to read it. And the more you read it, you realize like it obviously has to do with rape and like women who go missing, and like how just like how it affects people. Like, because you watch Law and Order, right? Like Stabler's like the hard ass badass detective. I don't know if you ever watched Law and Order.
Back in the day, I don't know the people on it though.
So they kind of play on those tropes too, and they kind of go into like why he's like this, like blah blah blah. And it's interesting. It's they're weird books, but that's why I added it, because it was cool reading something that made me feel. It didn't make me feel dumb, but at some points I felt like I actually had to pay attention to figure out what meaning she was trying to convey. And I like that. I like that it wasn't just kind of given to you. And it's interesting. And it's just way different than most things I read, you know?
All right.
Like, who gives a shit about bitches? Not me. Nah, I'm just kidding.
And the universe comes through.
For universe. And then another honorable mention. So this was actually going to be on the list, but I took it off in place of Ellen Watts, but would be Green Light by Matthew McConaughey.
Oh yeah, that was this year, huh? Oh shit.
Yeah, that was in February, bro. And that one, I still think about that sometimes, when just like in just my just like in my viewpoint of life, and how like, you know, like the way he was, like the way he saw things, like you just got to keep going, you know. It's just like green lights and red lights and all that, and how red lights can turn into green lights. And it's just, I feel like that book really did make a difference on like the way I see life, and you know, the way life is supposed to be lived. So that's definitely a good mention. So now my 3 though, so I'll start with this one just because it's the most depressing, is The Conspiracy Against the Human Race. That's the one I told you, that's Russ's character from is based off of. I really like that though, just because of how completely nihilistic and depressing it was, and how honestly, like, I feel like now I've read other things now that I've been reading Watts. I don't fully agree with as much as it as I agreed with when I read it, but I do feel like he has a lot of good points as to the way we view death and how the way we view things is very, very stupid. And he like even talks, I think I've told you about it. I mean, I just like the ideas he presents about how even like when somebody kills themselves, how we treat it very stupidly, or like when someone tells us they're depressed and want to kill themselves, we almost act like we're offended, like, and it's like, or not even we're offended, it's like we act like it's hurting us so much, and that we kind of become selfish and we ask people to do things that maybe they don't feel comfortable with doing, like staying, like, I really want to leave this life and I'm in a lot of pain and there's a lot going on. And even though part of me is probably trying to help you because it is a good part, there's also part of me that feels like if Frankie was telling me this, there would also be part of me that feels like, well, I'm not enough for you to want to stay. And it's like how selfish of a feeling that is, and how most of us don't see that as selfish because we think, oh, it's because I love them. Yeah, but if they're in that much pain, you are being selfish by saying, oh, you don't want to stay for me. Like, you don't love me enough. I'm not a reason enough to make you happy every day. And I really like that though, because I think it really hammers home the point that at the end of the day, no matter how many people you have around you, no matter how many people love you or you love, at the end of the day, the only way you can find that will to keep going is you got to find it within yourself. And if you're looking within other people, that's selfish of you. And if people are asking you to find the strength in you, that's also selfish. It's like selfish both ways in a way.
Yeah, but
it also just made me really think about just how some people really do, like, that's a big point of the book. Some people really are, and who are you or me to tell them that you're not in that much pain? Like, some people really are in a constant state of just depression, you know? And it's not for me to say that you need to try to get better or you need to keep going for the sake of going. It's like, no, it's like,
I think that
to just let, I don't know.
I think that there's a lot of shit that there. Yeah, I get absolutely, but I think that there's also a lot of people who get into these suicidal, depressed things, and but they don't do anything about it and never have done anything about it, and me included.
Oh, exactly.
I think that if there's people who have been trying everything and have tried working out, eating better, therapy, whatever the fuck, whatever. If there's people who have tried all these things and remain sad and suicidal and depressed. And then that kind of situation, that seems hard to, even have an opinion on, because, that's true.
Yeah, it's
hell.
like, who's to say?
Yeah.
And it's like when you're in it, that's like a big point too. When you are in it, you are in it. Nobody else. Even if I tell you what I'm going through, you're still not feeling it the way I'm feeling it. And I feel like that's also a big point of that book, is that people need to realize that everybody's different. And just because you're happy all the time and you feel like life is worth living does not mean that other people always feel like that, or that necessarily we have to walk around. Because I feel like, dude, some people do feel
crazy
like that.
To me.
If you're really depressed, it's hard to go into a room full of happy people and feel like I need to pretend like I'm happy. And he's kind of making it feel like there's no reason to do that. You're allowed to feel these things. These things are actually very normal. Like, I feel like that's what I liked about the book. While it did have a very depressing nature to it, that at the end of it, human race is very stupid and has really no end goal, and there's really no reason to keep going. I also feel like, though, it also kind of instills hope in the fact that it's showing, hey, look, if you feel these things, it's not abnormal. It's actually very normal to feel this stuff. And it's very abnormal the way we say that you shouldn't feel this way sometimes, that it's okay to feel this way, because chances are most people feel this way at some point. And we just live in a society where it's more like, try to be happy, try to be this. And he's kind of saying, no, it's okay, because life sucks. It's like the myth of Sisyphus. At the end of the day, you need to realize that at the very bottom of it, life does ultimately is pretty hard and kind of sucks. And it is pushing a boulder up a hill every day. But that's why you got to find your own values and your own shit to make it worthwhile. And if you can't, it's going to be a real hard time for you, especially if you're trying to find values in other people. Oh, these people are happy because of this, so maybe I should try this, or blah, blah, blah. It's like, you got to find what's for you, Yeah. And that it's okay to feel these things, because, life.
What is the book?
The conspiracy against the human race.
Okay.
But it is very depressing though, because he also is talking about how we should stop procreating and just let ourselves die out, which I don't fully agree with,
Not fully.
I think he has some points that we do a lot of damage and there's really no reason to keep going sometimes. But I also think that's the wrong attitude because that's just your perspective of it. Some people really do enjoy it. So if you do, it makes perfect sense on why you'd want to bring somebody into this, So I think because he does talk about that there's just two types of people. There are really people who are pessimistic and there are really people who are more optimistic. Like there are just, and neither side is right or wrong. Both have equal validity because at the end of the day, it's your opinion,
perspective. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
There is no right or wrong when it comes to your perspective about anything. Yeah. In comparison to other people's, at least.
Definitely. And then so that was the first one. And then the Alan Watts, I couldn't pick one of them, maybe The Age of Anxiety, but all of them all together I feel like kind of constitute his overall philosophy. We've talked about Alan Watts a little bit on here. That honestly though, that's contrasts the other book though, because I feel like when I read Alan Watts, it makes me feel like, because he talks about a lot of the same things too. Like, yeah, life is pretty much meaningless, but there's also a lot of beauty, a lot of things to be seen, a lot of moments to be had in life that are worth it. You know what I mean? Like it's life is life, and you couldn't have the good without the bad. Like everything is duality. I've been learning a lot about that. Like there's really like when you really think about it, there's nothing that you think that's not connected to something else. Like you don't see a chair and only think chair. You see a chair and it's based on your conceptions of earlier chairs that you saw, or the first chair you ever saw, or the first time you ever heard it was a chair. But you're never just really seeing things for the way they are because everything's so interconnected. It's like this feeling of anger I have at, let's say I got mad at Frankie right now. Oh, is it just because she did something, or is it because also maybe I didn't sleep much, or maybe I did this? It's like everything is always affecting everything. So there's really you can't really say this is the cause and that's the effect, because this cause has multiple causes within itself, which has multiple causes within itself. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's a nice way to look at things, that there's good in the bad, there's bad in the good.
Yeah.
Everything is within everything, just like everything is within you. It's like, it's like the whole thing about you being your own God. It's like within you to have that power to feel that way or to be that. It's just, yeah, it's like the opposite of the conspiracy against the human race, which I feel like is more for me now. And then my last one is the one that we did, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I feel like I'm going to read that again. Yeah, I'm going to read that again soon, because that book definitely had a big influence on the way. I remember you had been trying to get me to read it forever, but definitely influenced the way I see a lot of things,
Hell yeah,
how
that's good.
Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it,
Yeah.
Not everything deserves your attention, even if it's something that happened to you. Not every slight needs to be answered. Yeah. Not every, bad thing needs to be counteracted with a good thing, It's like sometimes you just fuck it,
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that hit close. Then that was on your top list. I gave that book to like 6 different people. I gave it to Daniel, my mom, Jill, Timmy, you. I bought like 6 different copies and just gave them around. But that book is fucking awesome. I'm literally thinking about getting it for my sister-in-law for this Secret Santa thing we got. But
okay,
yeah. What was the second book you said?
Wait. Who's your sister-in-law?
I think technically she'd be my sister-in-law, which would be Monica's brother's wife.
Okay. I thought you meant like Daniel got engaged or Timmy got engaged.
No.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I think technically sister-in-law. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, no, you're right. That makes sense. I didn't even think about Monica.
Yeah. But what was the second book you said? The Alan Watts stuff. To touch on that real quick, I would love to touch on Alan Watts a little bit. No, that's what I should say. But no, because I have watched a lot of his lecture or listened to a lot of them, and a lot of the ones that were recommended to me are a lot of what he talks about when it comes to like thinking too much and how you can get lost in your thoughts and get out of touch with the actual reality which is in front of you, and how like you and that concept and those little YouTube videos I've watched are fucking hit close to home a lot. And I noticed like, damn, that speaks to me, because that is what I do so much,
bro. Let's do that one of the next episodes. The Age of Anxiety, that one is actually all about that. And he talks, there's a big part where he talks about a problem with today. Well, this was written back then, but I would say it's probably even more of a problem today than it was then, is that hardly anyone you know actually ever lives in the present, because you're either basing your present off past things that happen, or you're maybe concerned about something stupid you said, or maybe you're in a bad moment. Let's say I'm having a bad moment right now, so I'm thinking about a good moment in the past, but I'm not actually existing in this bad moment enough to actually feel it. Or you're in this moment and you're thinking about, oh, I got to do this later, I got to do this tomorrow. So you're thinking about the future, or you're thinking about the past. So it's very rare that we're actually living in that moment. Because, you feel sad, you want to go do something to distract yourself. And it's very rare that you actually sit there and just allow yourself to feel these things and allow yourself to experience reality as it comes, and not as you're trying to base it off past. Because you're trying to base it off past things that are no longer existing, or base it on future things that are not assured. So you're never really living in the present, and that's a big part of that book.
I think that, and also, I think that finding when you're in the only time that we're actually living in the present and experiencing it is when we're in that flow state. And I think that only really happens for me when I'm creating, making music, like things like that. Yeah. Even playing video games sometimes. That's why I like video games so much, because I have to be present in the moment, or I'm gonna get my head blown off, and I don't want to. It's funny because I really sit there and wonder like why I'm so into video games or certain things, because it's that present moment, and that's exactly what it is. It's like it's so fucking hard to be present, especially with the fucking phones. Yeah, I'll be down. That'd be fun. But so honorable mentions of books. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, absolutely. I read it, a few years back though, but yeah, that was definitely a big one to redo. Yearbook, by Seth Rogen, I'm almost halfway through with it. It's really fun. It's actually a really fun book. We talked about it, I think, before. It's funny. It's like a Seth Rogen movie. Like it's really. I took it to Raging Waters and read it, and like it's funny. I don't know, honestly. Like in like,
I don't know how I feel about Seth Rogen anymore, bro. Like I follow him on Twitter.
I don't pay attention.
I love his old movies and shit, but I hate like he's like one of those comedians that I feel like would probably go around and, just because it's popular to hate Dave Chappelle, would say, "Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle did a bad thing by doing that comedy special." He's very like part of this whole.
I think that
Seth Rogen for sure is, bro.
I think they're painting him like that more, and a lot of his tweets are kind of like his tweets. what tweet? I think the only thing I've really seen is like he talks shit to a YouTuber about people breaking into his car and that saying like this is just LA kind of stuff. I never seen him really be too woke.
When James Franco got caught up with all that bullshit, this fool, even though they were like best friends, he was one of the first people who came out publicly. He's like, I will never work with him again. And I was like, what a bitch. I was
Did he say that?
You guys are, yeah, bro. He said that he would never work with him again. That he would never work with James Franco again.
I think he said was that they weren't really that close of friends. I thought. I'm telling you, a lot of what Seth Rogen is being looked at is people are portraying him a certain type of way. And maybe that's a lot of, maybe I could be totally wrong, but from what I've read and what I've seen, I don't remember. I will say he does seem like he's leaning towards a lot of bullshit, but I don't know. I haven't thought about that when I read the book. When I read your book, it's not like that at all. It's just fun. But yeah, we're gonna find out.
Okay, let's see.
I think what I remember him saying was
so that's because what's his name just gave an interview, James Franco, and he was saying that what's it called? Yeah, because it says
I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. So earlier this year, the actor, writer, producer shared that he had no plans to work with Pineapple Express co-lead, and then now, for the first time in 4 years, James Franco gave an interview the other day, and he was just saying he said that he worked with Seth Rogen for 20 years, and he said it was kind of hurtful, but he's saying he understands like why he did that. But see, I don't know, bro.
Well, James Franco was.
If that shit happened with you, bro, I just wouldn't say anything about it if we were famous.
I don't think he said anything.
I just would not say anything.
I think all he said was that they weren't really that close, I think there was only one quote where he said that he's not really working, or that they weren't really that close of friends, and then it came out somehow that they're just not working together. I don't think he really said anything bad. I'm pretty sure. And I'm only saying that
maybe
because
I
that's
could
to
be
my
wrong.
knowledge. I'm really like in because a lot of the podcasts talk about this kind of shit, and I'm pretty sure that that's what it is. And I'm telling you, that's what it is a lot of fucking people on Twitter and shit like that. And it's weird how like these ideas of people get formed. But I will guess we'll look into it. We'll figure it out. So anybody who knows, any Seth Rogen fans, let us know. Seth Rogen text. He's all Seth Rogen makes a fucking blog about us. But either way, the book, your book, is not like that at all. It's not political. It's fun. It's a good read. It's a nice like chill read. Cool. 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson's book. I finished it, I believe, early this year. I had read it over and over, like tried to finish it. It's a really complicated book. Talks a lot of complicated ideas. But I finally finished it this year. I cried when I finished it. It was fucking amazing. It's only in my honorable mentions, and I wouldn't have put it in my top 3 because I read it, or most of it, out of this year. His new book, Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life. I'm in the halfway through the first second chapter. It's not either way. It's the second chapter. I'm halfway through the second chapter. It's fucking great. I'm telling you, man, these books changed my life even more than Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck did. Like his ideas and how deep he gets into them. It does come off like it's like you like commandments, like the title of it, I think maybe could have used some work, but his concept is just like he basically talks about like things that can help you and kind of puts them as rules. One of his rules in the first book are pet a cat if you see one walking down the street. Like, so, and that's what or one is like, there's a few, there's like really basic kind of like funny things. And then he goes into them deeply. And that's the whole point of it. But it gets misconstrued with the 12 rules thing. But I'm telling you, bro, it's fucking amazing. I don't even want to recommend it to you because I don't want it to be, I really would love you to read it, but I only want you to read it if it comes to you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to recommend it and be like overbearing because I really, really, really want you to read it. So I don't want to even want you to, if that makes sense. It'll come to you if anything. I'll probably buy it for you for Christmas or something or for fucking your birthday. But anyways, great fucking books. He's coming to LA. He's doing a theater run in April. So if I'm going, I'm probably going to get a couple tickets. If you end up wanting to go, I'll go.
I'll be down.
But it's at the YouTube Theater right there in at SoFi Stadium. It's fucking beautiful, that theater. It was fire. But in April. So he's dope. I love Jordan Peterson, bro. I'm going to get him tatted on me. My top 3 books starts honestly now that what was the book that you just said yearbook not yearbook Green Lights shit that should have been my 3rd fuck I can't change it now, but whatever. Green Light, definitely honorable mention at minimum. I think about that a lot of how I live my life, that changed me a lot too. A lot of that shit was a big deal to me. So 3rd I have though is Stephen King's new book, Later. That shit was really fun, really smooth read. Like it was honestly like.
I don't think I've ever read one of his books. Like, even though I've seen his movies and like I obviously know about. I don't think I've actually ever read myself one of his books.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe I'll check that one. Yeah,
this is my first one, and
Later.
Later, yeah, it just came out this year, and it's basically about this kid and his mom is a detective, or his mom. And this kid and his relationship with his mom, and this kid has like this thing about him that's supernatural, and you'll figure it out. And but it's done very well. It's very smooth read. It's very interesting too. I think I went through it in like 2 or 3 days. So good book, and definitely fun, and made me realize and see why Stephen King is so like loved, because I was like, oh shit, this felt like something like a bigger than like something I've read before. Like it was really, really good. So Later by Stephen King. Animal that actually did come out this year. So that's Animal Farm was my second one. I only read that for the first time this year.
Bro, it's an amazing book, dude. And then like, just the idea too that all these like animals like represent, or the pigs, right? They represent the dictators and shit. Yeah, dude, and it's awesome, right? Because like I know you had said that you didn't know this before, that like Pink Floyd's Animals is literally like based off of the framework of Animal Farm, Like that's where the idea comes from, and it's so cool. It makes it even better. And it's so cool when you find like connections like that you didn't know were there, and then like, oh shit, that just gives it even deeper meaning.
Exactly. It's funny because like I remember reading that or hearing that about the book back when I was into The Wall, the album. But I never thought I'd read the book. I just never, and I totally, and then I came to the book because Jordan Peterson mentioned it, and I read it. Oh no, not because Jordan Peterson mentioned it. I got into the book because Naomi Park, the girl who escaped North Korea. Do you know anything about her?
Yeah.
She has a book that came out this year. Have you heard about or heard anything about her story?
I know about like her story, but I don't know about like I know about her like escaping. Like that's kind of all I know.
I think her first name is Yeonmi or something like that. I'm not trying to fuck it up, but it fucking dude, it's a wild story. Her Joe Rogan interview, you would really get. Or no, honestly, I would listen to the Jordan Peterson one. That one's a lot more like they fucking sit there and cry and talk about it. Like it's interesting. It's deep.
Okay.
It's sad, and she talks about all the wild shit that she went through in North Korea, all the starvation and she had to like escape and go to China and how she was like sold into like sex slavery and like got a husband and had to like and then eventually made it here. A wild fucking story. But I didn't read the book, but her story, whatever. Anyway, she mentioned that one of the main because that when she even got to America, she started realizing that she didn't know what to believe because she's like, well, how do I know you're not lying to me? And then she read She said that she read Animal Farm because it was the thinnest book that she could find, and she said after she read it that was the first thing that woke her up and got her out of that and realized how much North Korea was mind fucking her, and it was because of Animal Farm. And she told Jordan Peterson that, and that's what made me get into it. So,
bro, mind control. I bet you we should do an episode in North.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm down, dude.
About North Korea, about mind control.
Damn.
A mind control episode about mind control.
Dude,
well,
we have a mind control month.
Bro.
Only mind control books.
We call it mind control NK Ultra North Korea, bro.
Oh, shit. But yeah.
Write it down.
So yeah, Animal Farm, great. Yeah, that's how I found out about it. Great book. Sure. I'm gonna reread it again too, for sure. And then another book that I got recommended by Jordan Peterson was The Confession by Leo Tolstoy. I think I meant to talk to you about it before.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, I have it downloaded on my phone in my book thing. I haven't started it yet. Dude,
I would be so interested to see what you say about it because I think you'll understand it better than I did because it's very complicated and complex, and you'll fucking.
I'll read it. It's short too. Huh?
Yeah, super short.
Okay. I'll read it. I'll read it either this weekend or this week because at my other job I have a lot of like time where I can like be on my phone and shit. So I'll read it there. Yeah. That's why I get things on my phone now to read because it's like easier.
Hell yeah. And a lot of it contrasts with what you were saying in your third choice. What was it? I keep forgetting.
Conspiracy against the human race.
Yeah, a lot of the Confession.
I didn't ever say his name, by Thomas Ligotti. There we go. I didn't say his name.
Really. Well, you said it was sexy, but yeah, it's fucking. The Confession reminds me a lot of what the shit that you were saying about that book. And the Confession is all about his struggle with it and how he was like this huge poet. He became famous and successful, and then he started struggling with like, what the fuck now? Like, what's the point? And he legitimately fucking like analytically explored it and like intelligently explored it, like scientifically explored it, like the point to life, and he gets it's fucking wild.
It's like a lot of philosophy. Well, I guess that would be. He is a philosopher, right? Tolstoy, or is he just a writer?
I believe he was kind of both. Yeah,
because like I mean, that's like have you ever read like Plato and shit like that? Like that's what they do. Like they explore like the concept of judgment or the concept of logic, but then they literally logically build an argument for it, and it's interesting. Sometimes I like that. I mean, that sounds interesting. The one you're talking about. Like sometimes though, philosophers do it. Like Immanuel Kant does it with like reason, and it's almost too confusing to read sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck am I reading? That's
kind of how I felt with this one, but it was a little bit like it was so confusing.
I kind of like that though too.
Yeah, like I'm telling you,
like looking.
I'm just like a lot of the things he said, like I learned that this was this, and it was just like it's some of that shit was hitting so close to home because it talks a lot about wanting to kill yourself too, and it was a lot during that really dark phase that I was going through. And honestly, this book really helped pull me out of it. And the reason that I even heard it was like a fucking gift from God, legitimately, because I'm sitting there watching this Jordan Peterson lecture on the psychological significance or whatever of the biblical stories, and then he mentions, hey, if you're nihilistic, that's a dark fucking road to go down. He said, you know, a book that'll help you with that. As I'm going through it, he said Leo Tolstoy's Confession. He said it's short, but it's crazy. And then I paused the video and downloaded the book and listened to it that day. It was like, thank you, God.
No,
so.
It sounds like you just want to do this podcast with Jordan Peterson. So I'm out, bro.
Dude, that is a good time to reveal my tattoo. No. My Jordan Peterson tattoo.
That would have been dope if you would have had it written.
Dude, it's borderline, a little fucking culty, but yeah, I love Jordan Peterson.
No, dude. Honestly, the thing you sent me the other day about like the comedian with alcohol abuse and him stopping drinking.
Oh yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah,
I really liked it. Actually, it was dope. I listened to it on my lunch. Yeah, it was cool. It was just cool because I felt like it was like literally what I've been kind of dealing with already, you know, so it was cool to hear them talk about it.
That's one of the great things I like about him is he comes from a perspective. He's like why do people always say like we need attention? He said people ask me like why do you drink? It's like, well, because it's great. Like what the fuck? Like if you like alcohol, like he's very like upfront and like blunt. That's the reason why he's very controversial.
Yeah. No, dude, I like it. I like it. I'll definitely read that book. I'll read that this week, actually.
You should come over. There's some Jordan Peterson Kool-Aid that I have to drink.
Really? Does he really have a Kool-Aid? I was like, oh.
My delivery was fucked up there, bro. Could have been funny, but the delivery was bad.
Could have been. Nah, dude, I do want to come over, though, because I got your present, too, for your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Shirt.
I still might come. A day after Christmas, yeah. So I'm gonna.
Okay, Let me know.
I have to go to Barstow that day. I was supposed to go to Barstow that morning, but what time is it?
That's why I did 10:30. That's why Daniel told me that he couldn't come. He said he was gonna be in Barstow. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, if not, dude, like I told Daniel the same thing, bro. Like after brunch, I'm pretty sure we're gonna either go to a bar or be somewhere. So even if you can't make it to brunch and can't make it till later, I'll let you know where we're at. You know.
For sure. Cool.
All right, so last thing, music, baby.
Yes, sir. The big one.
I'm gonna have to leave in a little bit.
Yeah, let's get it.
So I'm gonna do the honorable mentions first. So there's this album called Haram. It's Alchemist, and it's the one with the pig head.
Mm-hmm.
Arm and Hammer and Alchemist. Album is fucking fire, bro. Dope.
Really?
It's it probably has potential to make it on the list, like, you know. But I don't think I've heard it enough to make it on the list. But fucking lyrically, instrumentally, it's very, very good. And I love the cover with the pig heads. I think it's just it's crazy.
I saw that. I was making my list. I saw it. Fire dude, cover.
Good album. Good album. Okay. Another mention. I really like James Blake's newest album. It's called Friends. What's it called? Friends. The title is just Friends That Break Your Heart. And I love the title. Just the songs are amazing too. It's all kind of on that theme of love and heartbreak, and just James Blake's just good. You know, he's good.
Yeah.
Another honorable mention. Okay. I'm gonna do one more before, and then I have a top 4 because I couldn't decide between 2 of them. But honorable mention, bro. And honestly, I think it has potential to be the best album of the year. Is Maxo Cream. His album is called Weight of the World, and I found about him from his last album, which was really, really good too, Brandon Banks. And then Danny Boy was like, when I showed up, he's like, oh bro, he's like, I've been listening to Maxo, you know, because Maxo like has a bunch of gangster shit, but bro, his newest album, it's like it's kind of like a Kendrick Lamar album in a way, because like the songs are like, because his life is, he lived a pretty gangster ass crazy life, his family too, and that's what's cool about the songs is he talks about it and it sounds gangster and shit, but if you really listen to what he's saying, it's really, really fucking sad. Like at the heart of it, like it's real. And he talks about it kind of too, but he talks about it in a gangster way still, but he also talks about all the pitfalls and down. Like there's one song called Mama's Purse, and there's like a line where he's talking about the whole song is about his whole family and about the different, like, because a lot of his family members are either locked up or dead, and it's like all about his whole family. And he talks about his uncle stealing out of the church collection box to go buy and he's like I remember my uncle stealing out the collection in the church. What made it worse, after that he bought some work. And like he talks about like his mom like stealing clothes, him and his auntie stealing clothes for him to keep him fresh. But like, dude, if you listen to the songs, like each song is like a story. That's what makes it really good. And I feel like people overlook him because of his old shit is very gangster and like hype and like dope, and then this is like very, very introspective and very like, oh, it's cool to see somebody who obviously lived that life talk about it in a very serious manner without ever bringing it to the level of bragging. Like it never gets quite to like, I'm bragging about this. Like it's almost like just telling you like it was fucking rough, you know. And it's great album. You should listen to it. It's amazing. Beats are dope too. Sounds great. It honestly, if I listened to it more, it probably had potential to make it, but it came out like maybe a month or two ago, so I really haven't fully like gotten into every single song. But okay, so top 3. All right, bro. Melodic Blue by Baby Keem for sure. Honestly ended up being one of my favorite albums. Like I still listen to that shit all the time. Fucking. And then I think seeing him just kind of elevated it even more for me. I think the album too, like I don't think it's like the best album ever, but I think it shows what this kid can do and that the next album's going to be more refined. Because I feel like Melodic Blue's kind of all over the place, which kind of makes sense with the cover, how there's all those different colors. Like it's almost like he's showing you like, hey, I could do pop songs. I could do some hard ass rap. I could do a love song. I could do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like it shows like how versatile he can be, which makes it exciting for whatever he puts out next.
You know what it reminds? I want to say it reminds me of "Overly Dedicated" by Kendrick Lamar, like in a sense, like the mixtape, like in a sense, like because
Melodic Blue,
because it maybe
that's a good comparison for him, you know,
like in a sense, just because it's one of his earlier works and you can see his potential in it, and then like I want to see Kendrick's like fucking discography, kind of like what the fuck, how did that work for him? Because I remember there was one. Wasn't there a Kendrick Lamar mixtape before that?
He had two. He had K Dot. So he had 2 mixtapes as K Dot, and then he had Section 80 as Kendrick, and then he had
Overly Dedicated.
2 mixtapes as K Dot, and then Overly Dedicated, and then Section 80 was the start of like his albums, and then Good Kid, Mad City, To Pimp a Butterfly, fucking damn, dude, like he's like, you know, if you look at his discography, it's like amazing. Like even from Overly Dedicated, you know, that's why when people talk shit, I'm like, bro, like he is. When this next album comes out, and it's going to be amazing, I'm pretty sure it's going to cement him. I think is probably one of the best, if not the best, hip hop artist around. Like just because I feel like he's one of the only people still doing it, where you can hear a song and it's like a party song, and you go party, you go get fucked up to it, but then you can sit down and read the lyrics and realize, oh shit, this shit is.
Wait, you're talking about Keem or Kendrick?
About the dark. Kendrick.
Okay. Yeah, Keem kind of, you can say the same thing, but
Keem's getting there though, you know. But that's why the album's really good.
Have you ever heard C4? That's what I was thinking about, the C4 mix. Yeah. That's kind of like it's like I feel like Keem is like right in between C4 and Overly Dedicated as far as like his progression. Yeah. And I can see
he's still so young.
Yeah, too, exactly. You know? That's what I'm saying. And that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. Like Overly Dedicated is so slept on. Like that shit is fire as fuck. But and then Section 80 is a classic. So it's like I can see Keem's next shit being a fucking classic fucking.
Yeah, see, shit. I feel like Melodic Blue, like, yeah, it's really good the whole way through. And then there are moments like that Scapegoat song and shit. Like there are moments that are like, oh man, like these parts are really, really good. Like Scapegoat, that song, I feel like easily is probably one of the best songs on the album, just lyrically. Like it's fucking really, really good. Okay, so that's it. And then, so the tie between my next one would either be Vince Staples by Vince Staples. I don't know if you listened to that album. Yeah. It was only 10 songs. It's like 30 minutes, bro. That shit, before we left Hawaii, was on repeat for like a month.
Really?
Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I couldn't get into it.
It's a great album. And it's way different than his other stuff, which I like.
Yeah.
His other stuff's very upbeat. And this one's more like he rides the beats and really good. Watch his Tiny Desk. he did a Tiny Desk where he did all these songs. Fucking amazing. I'll send it to you.
I listened to the entire album, I think, twice, and I just could not get into it. To me, it sounded like too forced. Like it didn't sound like him to me.
It didn't. That's why I liked it. I loved it.
It felt like a forced, a different version of himself. Like he was trying to be different. Like it didn't seem original or like authentic. But maybe that's just me projecting. Probably.
I'm gonna send you the Tiny Desk when we're done and watch it, and I think it'll change your mind just because the way he does it live. It's just, I think it added a different element to the music for me. So I'll send it to you. Maybe like it's only like a 15-minute performance, 20 minutes.
Yeah. There is one or two songs that I did like for sure. Sorry. But yeah.
Dude, it's really good. I think the whole thing's really good. But it was a tie between that and then honestly, dude, I loved it. I think just because maybe I heard it so much. And the song was The House is Burning by Isaiah Rashad. Like, honestly, the more I've listened to it ever since we did the podcast, even more so, like I love it. Like every song almost on that album, like I don't think I skip at all. Like, so that's always a good sign. So that, and then obviously my top, I'm gonna just say is gonna be Donda, just because like, I feel like I still haven't even scratched all of Donda's surface because it's so long. And I mean, I've heard every song, obviously, but like there are songs that are still haven't become my favorite that I can tell with a couple more listens are going to be my new favorite. Like right now I'm into Come to Life. Like that's my song right now. I mean, but fucking Donda though, I just feel like is a really good piece of work by somebody who everybody was fucking shitting on for like 2 years, all because of his opinions and because he put out a God album. And for me being like, always telling Frankie, like, I can't believe you're not listening to Jesus King. Can't believe you're turning your back. Just to see him come back and do this, I feel like, fuck yeah, dude. Yep. I feel like it's just made me feel like this is why he's Kanye.
This is why we voted for him.
Even with all this shit. That didn't come out this year, though, bro.
What do you show?
Playboy Cardi. That came out 2020.
Technically. And technically, we haven't even heard it that much yet. We're still giving him just a chance. So we.
And then also, I know we did a whole episode, but Donda 2, pretty much every fucking feature. Brought their A game. Dude, Baby Keem's part, Playboy Cardi's part, fucking that dude Fivio Foreign's part, dude Lil Durk's part on his shit.
Even Lil Yachty had a good verse.
Oh, dude, yeah, dude. It's like even rappers that I don't even really like that much fucking showed out where I'm like, damn, I love
6ix9ine had a good verse on Donda.
Hell yeah. That's all he needed.
Fuck, there was something I was going to add to it. You said, I don't know, whatever. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's mine.
Oh, yeah. No, I said that's why we voted for him for president. But all right. So honorable mentions. This is going to be probably. That was my question. If Man on the Moon 3. Y'all don't think that you had it in your list because I don't think you thought that it was technically 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna throw it on my list, but I realized it wasn't because I remember I bought it. It came out in like early December, right?
Like December 14th, 15th, something.
Okay,
like that.
Yeah. So I didn't add it in, but if I could have, I would have because that album, since we heard it, it's because I feel like we didn't give it enough time when we did the podcast.
Oh no, not me for sure.
It's definitely it's definitely like. Every song's really, really good. And some songs are like amazing, you know?
So, hell yeah. So this was the one that took me, I actually listened to everything over again. Like I was really going back and forth, like day to day, what I was going to do. But honorable mentions, I have The House is Burning. You know, that's still not even top 3, which was super shocking to me. And Melodic Blue, another honorable mention. You kind of already covered all that. Those are fucking fire. I love them both for the same reasons. I can put them both on repeat and not have any skips. Fire. Another one that I don't think that you know about is Faye Webster. I Know I'm Funny, haha. Her album, I Know I'm Funny, haha.
No, I know about her, but I've actually never listened to her. It's good.
Dude, I didn't even realize when I was researching, like looking at all my music, how much I fucking listen to her. Like I literally have her album on repeat constantly. I don't even notice. It's fucking perfect, bro. There's like maybe 2 or 3 songs that are not like perfect, but that her album is so gorgeous and the writing is so like personal and honest, and it's like this weird, like almost like this like introspective look at love and heartbreak, and it's like the music and her voice is so perfect. I love this chick. I love her voice, and that album is amazing. If I gave it more time, it might have been on my top 3. But yeah, definitely check out Faye Webster. I know I'm funny, haha. Fire ass music, bro. You'll fucking love it. Something put on and just smoke or whatever. You'll fucking love it.
I was actually gonna say right now too. When we do finish, I'm gonna send you all of my picks that you haven't seen or heard, and then you do the same for me, just so I can, even if we don't do podcasts, just so I can check them out. You know?
Yeah, for sure. That's a good idea.
All right, go ahead. All right, that was Faye Webster. What's the next?
Top 3, starting with the third, Man on the Moon 3. That was a rough one to put as 3. But I really, that one was a big one. You know, I fucking love that album. It meant a lot. It started growing on me deep within me. As I was writing and thinking, I was like, damn, Man on the Moon 3 didn't grow on me. It grew in me.
You know, and it's almost like he grew up with us, you know, because like Man on the Moon 1, like that was like at our phase, and then Man on the Moon 2 was when I was nuts, and then this obviously
it's like this evolved version,
but this is like, this is like kind of, I feel like where we are right now, where it's like we're still in it, but we're trying to find the top.
And it's funny because it was so authentically me, and it was so authentically also not this same version of this introspective weirdo, and it's not the perspective of this rager like part 2 was, you know, like it was just such an authentic version of myself. I kind of like, upon first listen, I pushed back on it for whatever reason, because it was so authentic to me, you know. But yeah, big fucking album to me. Second and first were a mix up, and I'm still having trouble with it, but I think I have to go second, Donda. Donda is Donda is, you know, everything you said about Donda, but you know, the God aspect, the music, the beats, the lyric, everything about that fucking album, it grew in me as well. Number 1 is the Marfa tapes, though. I fucking love it.
I heard a couple of songs, but I never listened to the full album, but I heard like half of it. It was good.
Dude,
that's your number 1?
Yes, not by far. Yeah, number 1, because I listened to Donda over, I listened to Man on the Moon 3, I listened to all these albums over, and the Marfa tapes I just kept listening to. I listened to it like 4 times in a row without even trying. Okay. It's so perfect to me. So I
liked it, but I guess I don't know.
I will say this:
never fully hit.
No, that's totally. I totally get it, and it's like I don't think that I don't see it being. I saw it on a few top lists, but I don't see it being like that for many people. I think it's a very anecdotal thing for me. I think it hit at a perfect time.
Yeah,
and I think that what's even more so that's interesting to me about it is the way they recorded it, the story behind it. I had notes written down. I have a screenshot here that kind of perfectly encapsulated why I am really interested. So they recorded these 15 songs by a ranch in the desert, documenting first takes, trading lead vocals, and figuring out harmonies. Between songs, they cracked jokes and reassured each other, poured shots, and marveled at their surroundings. So, and there's also a documentary that comes with it, I guess, that's supposed to document all this. And I've been trying to find it. It's hard for me to find it. But I'm actually going to try to find it after this, but it's just something about that raw authenticity of it. The fact that they came together it reminds me a lot of Get Back and how that was, and how it all just was them about jamming and making music. And it just like hit at such a perfect time that like, I think it is super anecdotal for me that it just crawled in me and became like this perfect expression of just like this, whatever it was. And it's just kind
of like Pieces of Me by Nick Lachey.
Kind of. Well,
it just hit at the right moment.
Exactly. You know? Yeah, for sure.
Because if I heard that album today for the first time, I probably wouldn't have listened to the whole thing a million times.
Hold on.
Maybe. I'm not saying it doesn't hold up.
No,
I'm saying if I heard it now for the first time ever, I don't know.
What's Left of Me, the album?
Yeah.
No, listen.
If I heard it for the first time.
No, I know. And what's interesting is that I actually listened to it like a few months back and tried to listen to it like I'd never heard it before. I think that it's an actually good album, and I wanted to recommend it to you that maybe we should like explore it. I'm telling you.
I'm actually downloading it right now because I haven't heard it in a long time.
It's a good album, bro. Almost the whole way through. Like there's only a couple skips. Like it really, and I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just like because we've heard it and it was a big deal. I tried to listen to it like even just vocally, like instrumentally, the way it's mixed, even like it was interesting. But yeah, the Marfa tapes, I fucking love it. I can't wait to watch the documentary. This was so much fun, bro. This was so much fun.
It was actually cool. Yeah. I feel like there's some things to listen to, and like everybody, or like Mikey said I don't know why I'm like Mikey said in the beginning, if anybody has any recommendation or any things that I wouldn't even say recommendations, just things that you liked that we didn't have on our lists, things that you think we missed, we're checking out, even not even just for a podcast, just for the sake of them being dope. Yeah, write us on Instagram, write us on the video, get in the Discord because nobody's in there except for Daniel Ray. And dude, this shit was fun though, and. This is the end of the year. I can't believe Mind Control's now been on. We've been doing episodes for over a year now, dude. That's pretty
long fucking time. Maybe almost
a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah,
long time,
bro. So
once we get to 100 episodes, we'll be a legitimate podcast. It'll be like
I'm down.
Like I think in the airwaves will be like a fucking solid fucking. We'll have some fucking nuts on us, you know what I mean? Like some cojones.
Nuts, bro. I love nuts.
Oh yeah, and the numbers on the fucking podcast, the audios is still like we get like 30 downloads a day minimum, like usually, which is a fucking lot. Like what the fuck?
That's me on different computers.
But everybody, appreciate you guys. Like the video, youtube.com. Just look up Mind Control Podcast. It's very at the top now. It took a while for us to get there, but we're there. And
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year's, Kwanzaa, Happy New Year's, Happy all that.
Yeah, I watched 6 Feet Under too. I forgot to mention that. I'm rewatching that. Yeah, fire.
6 feet. I know. I gotta finish it.
All right.